All right, welcome in to Baseball and Coffee. It's a little bit of a delay on the program today. Usually, we're 10 a.m., but today we have a great guest coming on, so we had to accommodate, and it also worked out better for me anyway. So the show will be right now, and Payton Tolle will be joining us in about 15 minutes, maybe a little less. Hope everybody's great. Hope everybody's had a great week. We're getting ready for a good weekend of baseball. So after we talk to Payton for a little bit, we'll definitely do a little bit of a weekend preview. We'll look at some stuff from last night. There were some good performances. There's some big time matchups coming up this weekend, including today. You got Sale and the Miz going at it today, which is pretty incredible stuff. So pretty excited for this one today. Payton will be on in about 10 minutes or so. Obviously, a lot of moving parts when I have a guest on. I have a control room and a whole bunch of things I have to monitor, but I think we're getting it down, so I think we'll be all right, and I think this should be fun. Anyway, let's see how everybody's doing in the chat. We'll do a little standings update. I just wanted to come on a little bit before, so I have a moment to breathe, and then we'll get him going here. Just watch Adam on MLB Now, and I am here now. Yes, I was just on. We talked Skeens, Cade Anderson. Very exciting debut tomorrow. I'll definitely have a video up on his debut tomorrow night after he pitches, pretty much right after he comes out of the game, I think. That's exciting. We talked use of AI. We talked Little League World Series. We talked Sale and the Miz. It's just good stuff. So that was fun. And now we get to do my show, which is also fun. So this is going to be great. And I appreciate everybody that's been hanging with me so much. We haven't gotten to any games yet. We're going to wait until after we talk to Payton in about 10 minutes. We'll have him for about 15. He's nice enough to give us a little bit of his time. I think he's at Fenway. So, he's got to go do his work and stuff. But after that, we'll go watch everybody else. Bieber, perhaps. Yes, obviously. Gerrit Cole pitched great yesterday. There was a lot of good performances. What platforms are you live on? So TikTok, which it seems like you are on, also YouTube. Today I'm on the MLB channel as well. MLB YouTube channel, my own YouTube channel, Adam Ottavino 0, and then TikTok as well, my TikTok as well. So we're going to ask him some questions. We'll have a little fun. I have some questions in the Discord from some people in the grounds crew, so we'll get those out for sure. And then it should be a good convo. Did I just read on Discord that AO remembers every pitch he's ever thrown? I don't know about every pitch, but the majority, yeah. I have a sickness. It's a sickness. I don't know what to say. I guess when it's that important to you, sometimes some things stick in your head, but yet I can't remember what my wife told me 20 minutes ago. And I think a lot of husbands can probably relate to that. Yeah, Sonny Gray, Logan Webb is another one today, which will be great. Is Rafi going to get booed in Boston? I'm pretty sure he's going to get cheered. But we'll see. I guess we'll find out. There's no way that that anybody knows what happened with Cattell. And if they do, they're not going to be telling us. So I tried to dig in on that the other day. Didn't find anything else about that. Carl's still trying to tell me that Jeremy Giambi was safe on the Derek Jeter flip play. I agree to disagree, but I like it. I like your passion. What else we got? I am great from Williamsport. Always great to watch it on the TV to see in the hometown. I'm disappointed. Sunday is the major league game in Williamsport. I was supposed to be there, but I have work, so I can't go. Next summer, though, I'm going to make sure I organize my schedule so I can get out to Williamsport and check it out. No doubt about that. Well, considering the fans boo Wilson, the best player on the team, playing injured, hustling all year, I can almost guarantee they boo him. I don't know. It'll be an interesting one, Jane. We'll see. This will be interesting tonight. We watched Tugboat on yesterday's stream. If you're interested in watching his debut, I think it was yesterday. It was either yesterday or 2 days ago. Go back into my YouTube archive of the lives. It's all time-stamped, so be able to jump right to Tugboat's performance. Matt Wilkinson got a sneaky little fastball. No doubt about it. Blue Jays 7th straight series win going into a major series this week with the Yankees. That's going to be interesting to see how that one plays out. But yeah, they're in a good spot. Let's just do the standings, and then after that, we'll probably be ready to welcome Payton in there. I see he's already in the waiting room, so I don't want to keep him waiting too long, but I also don't really want to start till 1 because that's what was advertised. So I don't want to jump the gun either. All right, let's go through the standings right now. American League East. This is where we're at. Tampa 4 up on the Yanks, 8 up on the Sox. Yankees have won 4 in a row. They just swept Baltimore. Now they have this big series versus Toronto. Tampa goes to Baltimore. Baltimore just handled Tampa recently, so that'll be a little bit of an interesting series. All 5 teams in this division in play for playoffs. All 5 in play. Anything could happen. There's a world in which 4 of these teams make it to the postseason, which is pretty crazy. And I would actually go ahead and probably predict that right now because I don't have a whole lot of faith in a lot of the central teams. There is a math problem here, though, because all the East teams are going to play each other, all the Central teams are going to play each other, all the West teams are going to play each other, especially in September. So there's going to be, if there's a lot of split series, there won't be a lot of ground made up. You're going to need one team to kind of get hot to win that last wild card spot. In the Central, White Sox are up 3.5. Twins have won 3 in a row, so now they're the closest team chasing. Cleveland also won yesterday. Detroit's kind of back and forth, and we know about the Royals. In the West, Houston 1 up on Texas, 4 up on Seattle. We've talked all year about Seattle and can they get it going? So far, nothing consistent. They do have Kade Anderson starting tomorrow, though, which is pretty cool and pretty fun. I love a debut. As we watched Payton Tolle's debut last year, which we're going to have him in a few minutes, and that was a lot of fun. NL East, Braves 5 up on the Phillies. They finally won yesterday. They had been a little skid. Phillies are hot. Phillies are about to play the Cardinals, who are another pretty hot team. They almost swept the Reds. So that'll be interesting to see what happens and shakes free in that division. Miami's still hanging into the wild card race, but the division's long gone. Central, I mean, the only question here is can the Cubs catch the Brewers? Plenty of time to do so, but we'll see. I think the Cardinals are hanging in there in the wild card too. We'll do the wild cards in a minute. Dodgers 9 up on the Padres. This division's a wrap. All right, here are the wild cards because this is much more interesting. We talk about this every single day. The American League wild card is nuts because after the Yankees and Red Sox were pretty far clear, Minnesota and Texas are tied. Toronto's a half game back. Cleveland 1, Detroit 1.5, Baltimore 2, Seattle 3. You have to take all those teams seriously. You really do. It's only 3 games. Now, again, there's a math problem there because a lot of these teams are going to play each other. So if there's a lot of splitting going on, there won't be much moving up and leapfrogging. But, I mean, all these teams are going to duke it out, including a team that's 8 under 500 about to get to September. And they're still in it. This has been a crazy year. National League wild card, Padres a game up on the Diamondbacks. Cardinals are trying to hang in there. I get the sense that it's between these 3 teams. I don't want to discount the Marlins too much. Or I guess the Pirates, but I'd be surprised if the Pirates got back into it. But I don't know. I think it's going to be a tight race. You know, the Padres and the Cardinals are going to play each other a bunch. I mean, the Padres and the Diamondbacks are going to play each other a bunch. So that's going to be an interesting scenario. We'll see how that one plays out. I don't know. Diamondbacks have the Marte drama. Padres did not play well versus the Mets, but they just came off an off day. Now they're getting Minnesota. I don't know what the strength of schedules look like. It's going to be awfully close. I mean, really awfully close. The Cardinals-Reds game yesterday was drunk. It sure was. That fly ball that ended up getting dropped by Hill. I thought he did the right thing taking over. I've seen some criticism that it was the left fielder's ball, but I thought he did a good job, Derek Hill, of taking over. You're the center fielder. It's kind of your priority. He just dropped it. I think it was just a physical error more than anything. And that happens. All right, let's check our coffee cup leaders from last night, and then I'm going to take a break, and we'll have Payton in for a little bit, which obviously we're all excited about. Zach Neto had 5 hits last night. Holy cow. 5 for 6, 1 home run, 7 steaks. Where was I? Guess I wasn't watching. That's a hell of a day. Jordan Walker, 1 for 4, 4 RBIs. Home run. Matt McClain, grand slam there as well. Garrett Mitchell had a 3 for 4 day. That's a good sign for the Brewers. He had been slumping. Spencer Jones had a nice day yesterday. Interesting because Bellinger's coming back on Sunday. How's that going to shake out for the Yankees? That'll be wild. WPA, Jordan Walker number 1, McLean number 2, Patrick Bailey number 3, as they eked out that one. On the pitching side, deGrom, congrats to my guy Jake's 2,000th career strikeout yesterday. I know he's really low on the wins list and all that, but for me, he's pretty much a Hall of Famer, at least in my mind. Only one of 2 pitchers that ever gave me goosebumps while watching them throw baseballs, so that counts for something in my bird brain. Grayson Rodriguez with a really good start. Maybe we'll watch that later on the stream. Shane Bieber, we talked about that. He pitched great. Gavin Williams, another double-digit strikeout game. He's punching tickets this year. I did give up some runs, but he's creeping. Gerrit looked great. I thought Gerrit Cole looked as good as he's looked. Honestly, oh, you're right. It was Dane Myers. You're right. It was Dane Myers was the play out in center field. I'm totally wrong. Derek Hill's on the Phillies now. Good call. Way to keep me honest there. It was Dane Myers. What's weird is Dane Myers had the clutch home run the other night that actually stole a game from the Cardinals, and then he gave one back yesterday. So it's funny how that works. But anyway, I digress. Gerrit Cole's been great. Grant Holmes was on the verge of making it tough on Walt to take him out of the game. He had the no-hitter going. So a lot of good performances, and we'll get into that in a bit. As for the prospects, let's go through that really quick. Seaver King, 2-home-run day. Walker Jenkins, 2-home-run day. Whole bunch of home runs with prospects. Arquette, DePaula, Rodriguez, Morales, Rodriguez, Velasquez, Nayans, Bonemer, Velasquez, and Pena, and Arroyo, and Ronel Rodriguez all homered. So I guess they're prospects for a reason. Pitchers, Anthony Ianson, 7 innings, 1 run, now that he's been traded to the Nats. J.R. Ritchie down there in AAA. Braylon Dowdy. Gage Jump, that was in the big leagues. And Hagen Smith, who's being used out of the pen in the big leagues. All right. I think it's time to put you guys on hold for a minute. And then we're going to go grab this human right here and try to chat for a little bit. So bear with me here for a moment, and I'll be right back.
Well, thank you for having me. I was just saying it's an absolute honor to be on here. So,
yeah, you have been probably, I would say, second or third most watched pitcher on our show. I mean, maybe Nolan McLean a little bit more, or Roki Sasaki, but after that, it's Payton Tolle, man. We watched your debut last year, which was electric, and it's been an honor.
It's good company up there. So,
hold on one second. They're saying we're muted in the chat.
Oh no.
Okay, we're good now. Everybody's saying we're good now. Okay. All right. All right. So first question for you is a little bit about the two-way aspect of your talent in college. Two-way player, Wichita State first, then TCU second. What do you think, if anything, hitting, and especially hitting at a high level, taught you and that you were able to bring into your pitching?
The first thing that comes to mind is don't give hitters too much credit because hitting is hard. So, I mean, I think having that experience, for me, one thing that I was going through last year was like, okay, I remember how uncomfortable I felt sometimes in the batter's box. And it's like, how do I make hitters feel that uncomfortable? So it's a constantly, give hitters problems of whenever they step into the batter's box. I don't want them to feel like they have any sense of control. But yeah, I mean, I think it's a good background to have. I sit there in the dugout sometimes. We had the 13 inning game against the White Sox the other day, and I leaned over. I was like, "I'm ready. Whenever you need, whenever you need me." But that'll never happen. But one day.
Do you think about it all that they took hitting away from the big leagues before you ever got there? I mean, I even have 2 hits in the big leagues, which is some of my most cherished artifacts, if you
Yeah.
will. One of the best badges I have. Do you feel a little gypped? Do you feel like it would have been nice to get in there?
I mean, a little bit. There a long time throughout high school, and I forget what year, but I was always what year they started doing universal DH. But I was always like, I want to get drafted by an NL team and work my way up through it, and then hopefully get a couple at bats. But now it's like there's only those certain like really odd situations where it could ever come up, and but it would it was a dream of mine for a long time. But I think I found out that junior year of college that there's just too much swing and miss in this game. It's just not enough. We're not making enough contact to do this at any successful level.
Yeah, I'm guessing just watching your style as a pitcher and just as a human, you probably swung pretty hard. You probably let it eat a little bit in the box.
It was I was a great 5 o'clock hitter because I really liked watching how far the ball went. So, but that was about it for me. I couldn't. They started throwing decent off-speed pitches, and I had no chance.
Yeah, no, I hear you, man. We've had some questions in the chat and in my Discord a little bit about kind of your progression from your first year into this year. What do you think
Mm.
are some of the biggest areas of growth from you during this season? What are things that you focused on, and what do you think has been easy or maybe difficult?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's you look last year and it was coming up through the minors and the development was very velo based. I came into spring training and I hit 95 on a backfield game and I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm throwing so hard. And then to continue throughout the year to end up getting to 100 and like that was the emphasis. It was we'll work on your changeup, maybe a downer curveball or something here a little bit, but like we need you pushing numbers. We need you getting up there in velo. So then I think that's kind of what helped me get to the show. And then now it's like, okay, we know that we can compete, but we need something to like take it to the next level. And that's where the curveball has really been introduced, like and emphasized. The cutter has been taking a lot of big steps, really in each game. I think uh, 2 days ago was the first time I threw it more than my fastball, which you told me that a year ago, and like there's no way.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of I feel like I'm learning the game better, like trying to like, okay, these guys are really spinning or these guys are really just wanting to sit back and slap heaters the other way. It's like trying to evolve with the game, let the game tell you what it needs. And but like the biggest change has been, okay, can I throw a curveball here? Can I throw for a strike? Is it a chase? Where's a good spot to land a changeup every now and then? But and then just like instead of just sitting down the middle and then throw it as hard as you can, like we're actually trying to like we're getting to spots and for trying to pitch. So that's been the biggest thing. Learn how to pitch and not just throw.
Well, I think you're doing a pretty damn good job at it. To your point, we did notice that you had finally thrown, well, the first time with all the cutters. The cutter was the number one
Mm,
usage. And you had a game recently, and it might have been this last game where you didn't get a strikeout until the sixth inning, but you still had a great
mm.
game.
Yeah.
There's also been introduction of the sinker this year. How do you feel like that pitch has helped you improve as well?
It's been good. I think it for me, it's always about like, okay, we have a good fastball. How are we going to get it, um, like to where guys just can't? Here it comes, go hit it. Like, can we make this more of a whiff pitch? Can we use the sinker or the cutter earlier in counts, to where we can it starts looking better and better? Because you throw the same pitch 40 times in a row and it starts looking a lot easier to hit. So it's just trying to get off barrels, in the at bat early. But so like it's and the sinker's like something that I kind of threw in college early on in college, and then they're like, we think you could bring it back. So I think it grades out or whatever well, and it's been a learning moment with that every now and then of like, okay, can't throw that 3 times. We gotta mix it in whenever we can. Um, Maybe not really a 2 strike pitch. Maybe it is one day, or just it's just it was another wrinkle that we wanted to add. So then it's that they call it the three-headed monster here of the going the top across the top. So
Yeah, no, because like when we first started watching you, like your fastball obviously stands out right away. You have like the release, the extension, the velocity, you locate it really well, you attack the zone. But it is funny how in the big leagues, to your point, people will start to like change their swing plane to meet that pitch if they see it
mm,
enough, right? So that's where the sinker kind of comes in. And I don't know, it's just
yeah.
been really cool to watch you kind of develop like a much more well-rounded game. Are there any like players in particular on your squad, like Crochet or Sonny or any of the other lefties, because you guys have so many lefties that you lean on to talk through some of these adjustments that you've had to make so quickly in the first year?
Yeah, I mean, Crochet has been one because I would say we're pretty similar types of pitchers. He's really in your face with that fastball and then kind of works off of it. And our profiles on our secondary pitches are pretty close to the same. So I try to talk to him quite a bit. It's kind of tough right now just because of like whenever we travel and stuff. But um, Sonny he's been really, he's a, he's fun to talk to. And I've really enjoyed um, just learning from him. And like, we're different pitchers, obviously, but like still there's ideas and principles that are the same across all pitchers. So just trying to learn and sit there and relax, and like whenever we're watching a game and I get Sonny going on something, he gets up on that on the the ledge or the fence or whatever and starts drawing his strike zones, and we get like 3 different strike zones going across the whole rail. And then you just 3 innings, there's your conversation. So it's been great to learn from those guys and just watch um how they work, how they go about something. I think like the in-game adjustments is something that I've started to learn from Sonny, of like he's able to really see like what hitters are doing early and then adjust from it. So but Crochet, I would say, is definitely somebody that I've, for lack of a better term, look up to, like just kind of like watching him and trying to ask questions of like, okay, you have a changeup, you don't throw it that much. What is a time whenever you throw that? Or what are you thinking on your cutter? Like just asking questions.
Yeah. Are you ever out there on the mound and you see something and you're like, you feel Sonny like pop up on your shoulder, like, hey man, like this is the moment. This is what we were talking
Yes.
about.
Oh yeah. Yeah. There's the biggest I don't know, we're pitchers, so you can talk about it, but like learning right now, it's like, okay, 2 strike cutters away. And it's like, if you leave that kind of strike zone extended, they can still touch that. And we're kind of talking about like, okay, that's not the location for the whiff pitch. It's down or in, or it's trying to, you got to get away from the barrel, we got to get away from the swing. So is it like working that curveball cutters down or away to a lefty? So like there are times whenever I'll execute a pitch and I'm like, Sonny's gonna be proud of that one. So
I love that. That sounds like a blast. All
mm,
right, let's get into a couple chat questions from the Discord. These are more fun questions. All right,
yeah.
From my friend Jane's 11-year-old daughter. How come the pitchers can't wear the Wally head when they pitch a quality start or strike out the side? Has that ever
That's a
been brought up at all?
That's a great question. I think that somebody did ask, can we do something to where we can start wearing the Wally head? But I think I might just force it one day and have a good inning and come in and pop it on. So it's just nobody's guarding it, so I'll just go in and pop it on one day.
I like that. That's a good answer. I've been wondering that too, because like we need a celebration prop too, pitchers. Like
Absolutely.
we like strike out the side. That's like hitting a multi-run home run in some kind of
Absolutely.
ways, right? All right, here's another one. Do you ever want to straighten Sonny Gray's hat when he is pitching? Do you ever think about that?
No, absolutely not. It's taken on a new meaning in that dugout. We're over there. We're sitting. It's like, okay, it's sunny day. All right, let's go. We're going, and it just keeps getting turned and turned and turned by the end of the game. So it's a running joke that we got, but it's that's Sunny.
It seems like the more it's turned, it's correlated with how well he's pitching, right?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
And speaking of correlations, I have another question in here. Have you found a correlation between performance and how many bananas you eat while you're pitching?
Usually if we're getting in that 7-8 banana range on the day, that means we're going deep into a game. So there is something there. But I mean, I probably need to do more of a study on it, if it actually is helping out, because I just kind of eat them as the day goes on. So but they brought down a cooler one day that was two bushels. What do you call a group of bananas? Like
Yeah.
8 or 9 bananas each, and I'm like, I'm not eating all these. But yeah, it's they're easy to eat. So
Yeah, they're easy to eat. And actually, a funny story was I remember one time a former teammate of mine, Charlie Blackman, he got to go fly with the Blue Angels one time, like in the off season. And
That's awesome.
and he asked him, like, because he's a very prepared guy. He said, "Is there anything I should know about eating before I do this flight?" And they were like, "You should eat bananas." And he was like, "Oh, why? Like bananas? Like you don't want to throw up bananas?" And he's like, "No, it's because they taste the same going out as they do going in." So I thought that was great. But I used to be the same way. Pound a few bananas, keep the potassium up, that sort of thing. As a kid, what was your fandom like as a kid? Were you like being from the Oklahoma? Were you like a Rangers fan? What was your fandom like as a kid?
Yeah, definitely the Rangers were kind of I say that they were the team that helped me fall in love with baseball. It was kind of like, because I was really becoming a baseball fan in that 2010, 11, 12 area where they were making those World Series runs. But then, like, I still was like throughout middle school, high school, I'd say my allegiance was still probably with the Rangers for a little bit, but I just kind of became a baseball fan. I was like, whatever is on that night, it's like we're watching it. It doesn't matter who it is. So we'll figure out whatever games happen. We'll figure out who to root for. But it was definitely those Rangers teams.
Who were some of your guys that you modeled your game after growing up?
I remember I did a lot of like CJ Wilson.
Derek Holland.
Derek Holland I was number 45 one year before Derek Holland. But then like I also watched
Kyle Harrison, maybe.
Matt Harrison.
Yes, I'm thinking lefties here. So CJ, yeah, those guys. Martin Perez, those were the lefties, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then like they ran into Madison Bumgarner those years too. So like watching him, like I think I was always thinking of him as like the villain in those whenever I was 9 years old, but like it's like that was a fun pitcher to watch in a postseason. So but definitely like our like kind of moving up was like Josh Hamilton, Mitch Moreland.
Oh yeah.
Modeled the Nelson Cruz stance, like all those guys.
That's legit. They were nasty. I mean, they showed down with the Cardinals. I had been drafted by the Cardinals, so I was watching that. That World Series was crazy.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
so one more real question, and then we'll talk a little bit about your charity event that's coming up.
Yeah.
So the Red Sox, it's been a crazy year. You know, I was a Red Sox. I played for Alex. I loved Alex.
Mhm.
He's out the door. I love Tracy. Tracy's in there. All of a sudden, you guys get red hot. Winning streak starts, and now you guys are sitting pretty, chasing down after the American League East and probably looking like a postseason team. What was that
Yeah.
turnaround like in real time? How much fun was that time period? Obviously, you guys are still playing, so you're still having fun, but especially when it just felt like every night you couldn't lose.
Yeah, I mean, I think that that's probably the best way. Like the best way that I thought about it was in Chicago. We were playing the White Sox, and this was game 4 or 5 of that 15 game win streak. And somebody hit a ball down the line, and the umpire throws his hands up foul, and then like switches and says it's fair. And like I was in that moment, it was like a week ago, that ball was so far foul, and we don't get any shot of this. But it's like whenever we got that hot, those hits were starting to fall, those catches were being made, like those pitches were like, that ball on the outside corner was called a strike instead of a ball, and things started breaking our way. Because they were not for that first part of the season. Man, it was just couldn't catch a break, and then all the breaks started going our way. So it was a whole lot of fun, and like to continue to play like good baseball has been um we're playing how we knew we could play at the beginning of the year. It just wasn't happening. So it's been a whole lot of fun. It's been a wild ride, but I think now we're back to that point of we go out there every time and we feel really confident with whoever we're running out there on the mound and whatever that starting nine is. So it's the confidence coming back was huge.
Do you feel like you guys as a group, like the players, like you still had that belief the whole time and it was kind of like the chicken and the egg thing, right? Like you start winning and then you relearn to believe, or do you feel like you guys did a good job of kind of maintaining, a proper sense of where you guys real level was, even though the record didn't indicate it? What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think that like whenever we were winning early on, it was like this is what we do. Like this is who we are. Like playing a full game where we're picking each other up. We're having shutdown innings. We're having those long innings hitting wise where we're making a pitcher work, and we would see glimpses of that. But then the thing that I was saying is that it's contagious. The pitching is contagious, hitting is contagious, fielding is contagious, and they're like whenever you start getting 1, 2, 3 of those start happening per game, it's like then you look up like, whoa, we're in the middle of this thing now instead of like feeling like we're really far out of it. So it's just you start feeling the pieces of the game start playing together, and that's whenever it started to really take off for us.
Yeah, and then you can feel the Fenway crowd really starting to feel it
Yeah.
as well, and that just kind of spurs you on. Probably the
Oh, yeah.
most fun place to play in baseball, in my opinion.
Absolutely. It's
So,
it's incredible. I mean, it was a 37,000 sellout crowd on a Tuesday night this week. It was unbelievable.
yeah, I only got to play there 1 year, but it was special. I mean, the energy in the
Mm.
ballpark. I mean, it keeps you on your toes, and that's all.
Yeah,
That's all you really want, because this is a grind of a season, as you're probably
absolutely.
seeing now. I mean, it's been like multiple worlds within this one season, so it's kind of
Yeah,
crazy. Yeah.
yeah.
All right, so tell us a little bit about your upcoming tournament here,
Mm,
and we know about all of your great causes. So let's
yeah.
hear it. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is the Tigger tournament. The name is after my mom's quote, "Be a Tigger, not an Eeyore," just always being positive throughout your life in whatever circumstances. She was a college golfer, so there's not a much better way to honor her with a charity golf tournament. So it's at Top Golf. Where it benefits the organization Empower. Um, I've been able to get with them. It's started to be for kids that have lost a parent like myself. So they have mentors, they have outings, they have retreats to where you can go and just kind of get your mind off of things. For an example, like Mother's Day is a tough day for me. With Empower, kids are able to take their Mother's Day and go on a hiking trip, or go to a Red Sox game. Some of these things that where they can kind of take their mind off of it and be able to have a community. And something that I really have loved is the mentor program that they have, so that there's these kids can talk with other people that have been through similar uh, circumstances. So I'm super excited about it. This is my first first event, I guess, and I couldn't be more excited about it. It's a lot of things coming together, and just super excited to help benefit these kids even more.
Well, it sounds like an amazing cause. You've been incredible to watch, talking about, turning obviously a really tough moment into something that, where you can then turn into, power and help other people, outside of yourself. So you're definitely a role model, Peyton. You're somebody that you're doing a great job both on and off the field, and it's been really impressive to watch. So fun to watch. So if you guys are interested, the Tigger tournament, here's some of the information here on the screen. You can go, I'll put it up in the description after this. But overall, I mean, we'll go let you do your thing. I know you got a routine to get to, so appreciate you so much for coming on. We're really excited for this one, and we're glad we could make it happen.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much. It was an absolute pleasure to come on. So thank you so much.
All right, thanks, man. See you on the next time.
See ya.
All right. Let me just head back to the main screen here, and then I'll go and hang up on Peyton. He had 15 minutes. We went a little bit over, but who could not? Who could not go a little bit over when you have one of the coolest guys ever on your show? So I thought that was pretty fun. A little bit of insight, had a little fun. Made sure that we got Jane's daughter Emma's questions in there. I definitely was looking at the YouTube chat, but I also have to be in the moment. And we had some questions already in the hopper, so appreciate you guys. I try to put up a lot of the chats, the praise and stuff like that I saw in the chat, but that's the main thing. That was awesome. Great pitcher. Seems like an even better person. I think there's no doubt about that. No doubt about that. He was just a fantastic human, using a personal setback to help others, and to, connect with others. I think that's the main thing. So very, very cool. Very, 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 very fun to have him on. I like hearing him talk about getting better as a pitcher too. That was pretty neat. First the mode of operation. First, the first modus operandi was learn to throw faster, which he did. He went from 95 in spring training, which he was blown away by throwing 100 by the time we saw him in the big leagues. And then this year, he's added sinker, more curveball, less slider, more cutter, in and out, up and down, working with Sonny and Crochet and the others. So you've seen the results. I mean, he's pitched to a 3.08 ERA in 21 starts this year, and he's absolutely shoving. The expected ERA is even better. So great guy to have on, and that was pretty cool for me and for all of us. All right. Let's get into our day here then. Let's see what we got here in the chat, and then we'll get into our day. We did the standings before Peyton came on. We have to think about what we want to watch from yesterday's stuff. But that was really cool. That was, man, I'm still not over that. That was great. That came out of nowhere too, that he was going to come on. So couldn't be more juiced for that. That was fire. That was super sick. All right. Let's get back into the main screen and keep it going. He's a Red Sox, Billy. He is a Red Sox. Yeah, we need more like this. We're working on having more guests regularly. I thought that was a good convo, though. That was great. We got some good information. We had a little fun, and we move forward. All right. So again, going over the matchups for this weekend, because there's a whole bunch of brand new series starting this weekend. So now we'll get into our weekend preview a little bit, and we'll go over some stuff from last night. These are the matchups from this weekend. All new series, unless some of them probably started yesterday. But for the most part, these are the series you're looking at this weekend. Braves, Brewers. We talked about that Sale Mizorowski game that's starting in a little while. Cardinals, Phillies is a matchup. Blue Jays, Yankees. Nationals, Marlins. Giants, Red Sox, a fun one with a great pitching matchup tonight. Rays, Orioles, that's an important series. Mets, White Sox. Mets have played great ball. They're looking to play spoiler for the White Sox. Royals looking to play spoiler against the Tigers. Noah Cameron's red hot. He starts today against Melton. A's, Astros, important series for the Astros. Angels, Rangers, important series for the Rangers. Rockies, Guardians, important series for the Guardians. Seems like there's something important happening in every series around baseball. Twins, Padres, important for both of them. Reds, D-backs, same, although I think the Reds are a little cooked. Cubs, Mariners. Mariners trying to make a last push into it. Cubs trying to chase down the Brewers. And then Pirates, Dodgers. You know, Dodgers is probably not that important, although they'd like to play more consistent. This is a great matchup tonight, too. Yamamoto and Bubba Chandler. So that's what we're looking at for tonight. As for last night, we just went over the coffee cups. There might even be some minor league stuff to check today, but I mean, deGrom, Gerrit Cole is a must. You tell me what you guys want to see, and maybe we'll get into it. I mean, shit, Zach Neto with a 5-hit day. That's probably something to watch. You know what I'm saying? Do I think Bubba gets through 5? Honestly, like, I'm not the biggest Bubba guy yet, but he's got great talent, and I love watching a guy improve and figure it out. So we'll see. We'll see. What else we got here in the chat? How many pitches do you think the M's give Anderson? I mean, he's been pitching about 4 or 5 innings each time, maybe 6 occasionally. So I think 80, 85 pitches would be my guess. I wouldn't expect for a long start, but I'm predicting a pretty good start, maybe with some hits, but he's going to pitch really well. He's got good command. Be exciting to see him and how he looks. Looking through the chat here. Can we look at Ben Joyce? He was nasty versus the Astros. Felt bad for Altuve. All right, we can start off the day with Ben Joyce. I didn't know he pitched last night, but we've watched him in one game so far since coming back from his surgery or what. I think he had a surgery, right? Shoulder surgery. He's been throwing gas since he came back. 6 games, no runs, 3 saves already, 8 strikeouts, .33 whip, averaging 100, 99.7. His most recent game was the 18th, so that's a couple days ago. We can watch this one, no. We'll circle back a little bit. 18th, Houston versus Angels. Ben Joyce. We actually watched some of this game. We watched the beginning of it to watch Klassen. He averaged 102 in this game, so this is going to be fun. Ben Joyce versus Houston the other night. So let's just check it out really quickly. This would be Houston, Astros, Los Angeles Angels, and we're looking for Joyce. There's Joyce. All right, so this is it's going to be quick. 11 pitches, absolute gassed. Absolute gas, I should say. All right, 102.6 down.
All that time on the IL, but he is back and throwing BBs. He has already thrown a runner to bring the tying run to the plate.
There's the 2-0 four-seam challenged. Actually, it's still ball 3. So 3-0 to the first batter, and then he comes back. 3-0, get me over 102.8. What drugs are you on? That's insane. All right, 100 coming here. 101.3 coming here. Fouled off. And 102.6. So no sliders. Man, Altuve is so far off the plate. Are you guys seeing the visual of where he's standing in the box? For all the guys that are strike zone crowders like a Contreras, they're like, you know, their body might be like in there. Look at Altuve. That's ridiculous. That's insane. Damn. Gotta resync my pencil, my Apple Pencil. There we go. Anyway, that's crazy. And he didn't get any sliders, just straight cheese. See you later. And the kid is fired up. Watch Ben Joyce from behind. Crazy. All right, next up, 1 pitch out of Varsho.
Here's Dalton Varsho.
This is one of Altuve's little tricks he does, though, is he really wants the ball away, and then he dives for it. So he makes you think like you have the outside corner, and then he super dives for it. But to me, he felt even further away in that at-bat, and I think he might have been scared of the fastball. 102.6. Here's a breaking ball at 85, so that's, I don't know, 17 miles an hour difference. Sorry about it. Nasty. And then 103.4 to end the game. I mean, that's just stupid gas. 103.4. He's got good extension. I mean, there's a few pitchers that just throw it harder than everybody else, and Ben Joyce is one of those. Ben Joyce, Mason Miller, Jacob Mizorowski. Here's the delivery in slow-mo. He gets that arm up quick like a catcher, but he's strong as hell and mobile as hell. So he's combining a couple of really good qualities. I mean, look at this separation where his scap gets pulled back. And that's him. That's his leverage moment with that huge stretch right before he's about to bring the boom. I'm not saying this doesn't hurt watching, but that's absolute gas. So Ben Joyce, he's our first one that we looked at, and good news for everybody, because I was a little worried, like, man, is this guy ever going to really be healthy? You know, can you stay healthy throwing this hard? At least he came back. He only pitched 5 games last year, and so far he looks good. So let's see if he can build off of what he was doing in 2024. And the big adjustment in 2024 was adding in the sinker to the mix, having the 2 fastball shapes, one for early contact, and then that makes the 4-seam almost unhittable when he goes up. With it late. So anyway, that's the Ben Joyce experience. All right, here we go. Back to the chat. Can you show how you analyze hitters on Baseball Savant? You looked at analyzing pitchers yesterday. All right, yeah, we can take a quick detour for how I might look at a hitter on Baseball Savant. All right, let's just cherry pick a hitter who's pretty good. Let's say it's Juan Soto. All right, Juan Soto. We'll pick Juan Soto because he's one of my favorite players. All right. So obviously, you go to the percentile rankings, and they're pretty self-explanatory. Maybe this was a bad example because he's good at everything. Let me find 2 different hitters. One that's good at some things, one that's good at some other things in a contrasting fashion, and then we can learn from that. So Schwarber, we'll do Schwarber as our first example, right? Schwarber's incredible. Power guy. And the trade-off is that there's a lot of swing and miss. But the key when you're looking at Schwarber is when you're looking at these bottom percentile rankings, chase percentage, whiff percentage, K percentage, and walk percentage. His style would not work if that chase percentage was down in the dumps like those other percentages that are in the blue. Like if he had like a single-digit percentile ranking on chase, his walks would crater. His ex-WOBA would be cratered, and all of that, because at a certain point, chasing and controlling the strike zone really is the most important thing. So you look at a guy like Schwarber, and that's one prototype of how to hit. It's be a powerful guy, but also stay within the strike zone. You're going to have miss, but it's part of the equation. Like mixed with a guy like Arise, who's actually his teammate now, and you see it's almost inverted. He doesn't swing hard. He doesn't have a lot of power. It's so funny because Zoinks, I just did that exact thing. And you look down here, the chase rate is in the negatives, which means the walk rate's in the negatives, the bat speed is in the negatives, the hard hit, all of those things. Yet, he's incredible at squaring the ball up. His contact rate is tops in the league. He never whiffs. He never strikes out. So he's always putting the ball in play, and that's what this type of profile is going to look like. Now, most players in the league are going to be somewhere between a Schwarber and an Arise. They're going to be somewhere in the middle. They're going to have some aspects of their game that are a little better than others, but they're not going to be maxed out like on one end of the spectrum and minimized out on the other side of the spectrum. So that's the first thing I look at, is just a basic profile. How much do they chase? How hard do they swing? Basically, how much whiff, how much swing and miss is in there? Do they walk? All those types of things, just like basic. These are just basic like evaluation tools. But then from there, you want to dig in a little further. You always take their fielding into consideration, their outs above average, and then you start looking at things like sprint speed. So a lot of times when I'm looking at a physical player's attributes, I'll go down to the percentile rankings over time, and I'll track a player's sprint speed over time. typically, as this starts to decline, you start to decline with age. And it's important to see when their speed starts to fall off a cliff. Like, I'll give you a perfect example of this right now. And I'm not saying this guy's like declining necessarily. Well, he's declining a little bit, but I'm not saying he's like done as a player. But you look at Mookie Betts and you go look at the sprint speed and you see a steady decline. It's this column all the way to the right. So that's usually how I try to measure athleticism. It usually shows up a little bit in your outs above average as well, although in this case it doesn't. So it's not a hard rule, but it's something that I think about. Also, bat speed is how's your bat speed declining as well as another indicator in terms of, is your bat speed declining, meaning is your physical ability to swing hard and swing fast declining. So I look at those for physical attributes. Then you can look at, you get a little more granular, like how often does a guy first pitch swing? This has been a big criticism of Arise over the years, and apparently even Mookie's very low first pitch swing. So like this is important because a lot of stuff happens on first pitch. You have an opportunity to get your A swing off, but you can also screw up your whole at bat by putting the ball in play with weak contact on the first pitch. It's something I always like to know. And there's a million other metrics here to look at. How they perform versus each pitch, how often they do this, pull the ball in the air, which is a huge metric in terms of expected damage. And then from there, now we have bat tracking data. So this is Mookie Betts we're looking at right now. Couple metrics that I care about when I'm looking at a player. What's their average bat speed and what's their swing length? For me, I like players who have a below average swing length, so it's a little bit of a shorter swing, but they combine that with above average bat speed. Not a lot of people have that, but that's something that I look for. Generally speaking, longer swing, higher bat speed, shorter swing, lower bat speed, but that's not a hard rule either. So you have to see where the player is on that spectrum. Then in terms of swing plane, I like to look at their swing tilt. Tilt is basically how tilted their shoulders are on average, whether they stay square, whether they tilt a lot to create loft in their swing. And it also shows up in attack angle. Attack angle is the angle at which you connect with the ball. 10 degrees is league average. If you see a high number, they're really getting underneath the ball. If you see a low number, they're really getting more on top of the ball. That's important because it leaves clues to what type of batted balls they're going to have. Like Vlad, straight down. Juan Soto's very flat. As you can see, Mookie's about league average. Then you got guys that are super uphill. So it's interesting to look at. Also, attack direction. This is an important thing to look at, like for a guy like Mookie. All his power is pull side, so he needs to have his attack direction to be pull side. So anyway, those are some of the things that I look at with bat tracking. Now, they have all this new metrics down here, which if a guy's struggling, I'll go ahead and dive into. Like, is he more under it? Is he over it? Is he late? Is he early? Is he off the end? Is he off the handle? You want to know those types of things because it gives you a little bit of a clue of why his contact's weird. And then the last thing is probably just the spray chart. You know, you look at spray charts over time, like this is Mookie Betts, and it just becomes clear as day that the only way he does damage is by pulling the ball. There's a couple balls to the opposite field, but for the most part, it's a pull side guy. So you kind of get the idea of what he needs to do, to accomplish his goals. And in Mookie's case, it's not chase and pull the ball in the air. And he's pretty good at both of those, but he's been a little unlucky, and that's kind of how you want to look at it. You kind of cross-reference their actual results, right? He's got a 703 OPS with their real results. I mean, with their expected results. Ex-WOBA, he's above league average, 327, should actually be performing better than he is in reality. And you try to suss that out, and then you pair that with watching a little bit. So that's kind of how it goes. Anyway, that was pretty long-winded, but that's kind of the idea there. All right. So on to the next. Let's get into some games from yesterday. We watched Ben Joyce, and that's about it so far. I know that there was requests for Bieber. I know that I definitely got to watch Gerrit. He looked really good. And we'll see who else everybody wants to see. I love the in-depth. This is awesome. You said Vlad and Soto have flat swings. Why does Soto hit more home runs? He doesn't necessarily hit home runs. That's happening this year. But the point is he's been inaccurate with his barrel, Vlad. He's not getting into that perfect spot for the backspin. He's been mishitting the ball a lot, and also he's been getting attacked with a ton of sinkers this year, and his bat's so flat that he's been beating the ball on the ground. But his home run stuff is extremely fluky. Extremely fluky. All right, the first name I see is deGrom. So we're going to do deGrom first. Congrats to my friend. He hit 2,000 strikeouts yesterday. So we'll start with Jake. He had probably his best game of the year yesterday, in my opinion. So it'll be fun to watch it when we do watch it. But while we're talking Jake, I want to quickly go to his reference page because he's just a very unique career. He's at 50 WAR. I guess the question that I want to be thinking about throughout the time that we're watching him is, can he make it to the Hall of Fame? I'm a big believer that some of these guys that have like the less longevity, but their absolute peak was pinnacle shit, like a Lincecum or a Johan Santana, they should be, in my opinion, evaluated more favorably for the Hall of Fame than they historically have been. That's going to be the issue with Jake. Nobody can deny that at his peak, he's one of the greatest pitchers we've ever seen. Back-to-back Cy Youngs in 18 and 19. Then he went to another level after that in 20 and 21. And if you don't believe me, even though he was hurt for part of that time, all you got to do is go look at the strikeout to walk ratios through this stretch. 13.27, what? 12.75, 11.25, 14 through that whole stretch of the end of the Mets into the Rangers. Like, that's just not human. So for me, even though he is, I think he only has he's got 105 wins, and he's maybe gets to 150, best case scenario, I still think that he's got to be considered. So I think it's pretty good. 2 Cies should be automatic, according to Uncle Ted. Dano says fastest ever to 2,000, even with the lost seasons. It's tough, but for me, I think, what other platform would you like, Toot? But I think for me, he's definitely knocking on the door of the Hall of Fame. And of course, I'm a little biased, but I would put him in. Anyway, here's his season at the moment for Texas. 9-8, 3.77, 24 starts, 126 innings, 157 Ks, 1.13 whip. He has gotten hit a little bit harder this year. But in terms of the other stuff, it's mostly the same. The walk rate's really good. The strikeout rate's really good. The command's really good. So anyway, let's go get into his game from last night. It was against the Nats. So let's go ahead and pull that up. Player breakdown on Jacob. 42 sliders. Wow. 42 sliders. So similar to what Tolle was just saying. He had a game recently where his off-speed secondary pitch actually had more usage than his fastball, and that surprised him. Jake, same last night. 42 sliders, 34 heaters, 14 changeups, 3 curves and a sinker. Metrics look the same. Whiff rate was really good on the slider, 47% and 100% on the changeup. So he had a great day. 5 hard hits total. Probably not as many first pitch strikes as you would expect, but nevertheless, pretty damn good game. So let's go get into that. Nationals and Mets. I mean, geez, I just thought he was on the Mets for a second. Nationals and Rangers. Sorry, Mets fans. All right, deGrom, 94 pitches, 10 punchies. Let's do it. First up. Is this Lyle? Yeah, Lyle. Lyle Crocodile. Slider to open the game. Very rare from Jake. Foul ball. This is obviously a very pro deGrom space, but I wouldn't put him in, not yet. Yeah, I think he's still got some more work to do, probably, to pad those stats a little bit. But yeah, I'm a little biased towards it, of course, no doubt about it. And it's a 3-pitch strikeout to start the game. Slider. Here's the fastball. Let me just see the location on this fastball real quick. Yeah, in. That gave him a beautiful tunnel for the back footer, which he executes. Now, when he's going his best, and we've all seen it, it's this corner that he dominates and absolutely owns. This corner and below the zone over in this area. So we're going to see a lot of that today, I'm sure. All right, second batter up is Ortiz? Yeah. Abimelech Ortiz. This is a rookie right here. So he gets 98 painted away. We got a super chat real quick. How do you feel about Lindor being a Hall of Famer? I think he's on track. He's definitely on track. We can go look at his baseball reference after the fact, but he's definitely on track. I mean, there's no doubt about it. If he just continues to be Francisco for another, whatever it is, 5, 6, 7 years, his numbers are going to be up there with any shortstop. It's true. All right, another slider. Perfectly backdoor. He also had a little bit of extra fuzz, I feel like, on the slider at times in this game. I saw some 92s, some 93s. And this is another perfect chase slider executed from Jake. So 2 up, 2 down on the same pitch. That might have been strikeout 2000 right there. I'm not even sure, but fastball away. Lincecum has 1-2 size and is not in. And Santana, right? Those are probably the 2. Yeah, this camera angle we know is the worst. But, you know, is what it is. All right, slider foul. Here comes another one.
Do that 10 times. Off the plate. The only to do it in fewer innings.
Are you surprised he didn't waive his no trade clause at the deadline? Yes and no. I did think that the one team that could probably woo him, well, maybe there's two teams I think that could probably woo him away from the Rangers. And I do think Atlanta was one of the two. I think Atlanta and Tampa, those are the two closest teams to his home in Central Florida as he pops a guy up to a beautiful 1-2-3. But I think mid-season, it was probably an unrealistic ask. That was painted, by the way. He doesn't want to move his family. He's very happy in Texas. He's happy where he's at. I think if it was the offseason, maybe he gives a little more thought to Atlanta. He is Hefner's over there, which is his guy. So maybe there's something to be said for that. Ooh, really good changeup here on 1-1. Gets him to chase way in front of the plate here. But, you know, in the moment, Jake's not a guy who likes change very much. He's very comfortable and likes being comfortable there. So for that reason, I wasn't totally surprised. I also think him and Evaldi kind of made a pact to do it together. So that's 3 strikeouts all on back foot sliders as Tena goes down.
It's already 6 swings and misses for deGrom tonight.
It doesn't show you depth very well, Zoinks, this camera angle, and that's my biggest issue with it. If the camera was lower, it would be better for me, but I don't like it at all. I think it's too high. All right, this is a line drive to right. Base hit from House. That's the first hit on the day. It wasn't hit crazy hard, 85, but first hit of the day. Here comes Keibert Ruiz. Does he get to 2,500 Ks? I think he's a lot more likely to get to 2,500 Ks than he is to the 150 wins. I mean, he's only got to get 500 more Ks. To me, that's kind of a lock if he plays anything more than 2 seasons, anything more than 2 full seasons, although I don't know if he wants to. So I guess we'll see. There's a changeup lawn dart. Here comes that heater up and in. That's a very good pitch, and he has him now sped up for the slider. Here it comes. Does get the ground ball. Nice play by Berger. Didn't get that ball as low as he wanted, but he'll take the out. So man on second, 2 outs. Here's Dylan Cruz. Slider strike, and slider again. Pretty good pass at it, but that place is an absolute graveyard, and he only hit it 97. So can of corn. Pretty good first 2 innings, 1 hit, and about nothing else. All right, here's friend of the program, Nasim Nunez. 4-seam strike.
There's a great old world out there. So a meaningful and special night highlighting this long-standing relationship, guys.
Did not come through.
How long is left on his deal? That's I think it's only 1 year left, maybe 2. Yeah, 1 year left with club option. I think he'll play those out, but I don't think you're gonna see Jacob deGrom in his 40s. So I don't know.
1-2 pitch is low.
Would you agree 90% of pro ball is mental strength over physical? Yeah, but mostly because I'm kind of cheating here, but mostly because the mental controls the physical. So once you clean up your mental, you have a better shot of being better with your physical. But most guys in pro ball have the physical ability to play in the big leagues. I mean, obviously there's levels to that, but most guys have enough. They reach the baseline to play in the big leagues. Ooh, really nice play by Evan Carter. I thought that was dropping in. Jams him with this fastball? A little bit. 94, a little short stroke by Nasim, but in comes Evan Carter. Very nice sliding play. That might have been a home run had he not caught that. I'm just looking at let me look at the corner fielders. Nimmo starts jogging. He sensed it a little bit in right field. But yeah, that would have been, I think that's a home run if he doesn't catch that ball and it goes to the fence with Nasim's speed. Leads the league in steals. Anyway, nice play. Good high risk, high reward play. It's all good. Did as good as we could. All good. Did as good as we could. Who's got a prettier freeze glove side heater, deGrom or Cole? That's like really hard to choose. I'll pick deGrom though. I think Gerrit likes to work the whole strike zone, and so does deGrom, but more so Gerrit. deGrom is much more glove side oriented for his career than almost any other pitcher I've known. But that's just paint too. I mean, the thing is just like His stuff, I mean, it's become less amazing over time because we've seen other guys with it now, but it's still amazing. It's really just that command, though. I mean, nobody has command like Jake. He can hit a Nats ass, and it's wild. Perfect slider there for the punchy, and now we're back to the top of the order, and Lyle. Change up in the dirt.
Tricep soreness. Let's face it, there was fair concern about whether or not if that might knock him down.
What do you think about the Twins being in the wild card this year, considering they gave up players with control at the deadline? That was last year's deadline. I think they're in it because the American League is weak. I don't think it's anything special that they've done. They have a pretty good offense. Ultimately, I think their pitching is what's going to hold them back, though. If they were to make the postseason, they'd have to have probably one of the worst bullpens. So, sure would be nice to have some of those guys, Duran and Varland. But, you know, they're going for it, and I'll always appreciate that. You know, no doubt about that. You always got to go in this sport. All right, 3-2, a little bit of a battle here. And he's going to call him out looking on a slider backdoor. So a little bit of a happy accident there. As you can see, the target's more middle, but puts it right on the corner. Very nice pitch. All right, 3 innings. Brilliant. 4th inning coming here. Back to Ortiz. Slider chase, look at an ambush.
Sliders, changeups, breaking balls, whatever it is. Anything other than a fastball.
2018 and 19, deGrom and Scherzer were both so much fun to watch. I remember Max telling me that he realized at some point in one of those years that he wasn't going to be able to beat deGrom for the Cy Young because it was starting to slip because deGrom just had a run that was crazy in like maybe July or August of one of those years and just feeling like there was nothing he could do to catch up even though he was rolling too. So that was kind of funny to hear him talk about that.
2-2 on the way.
deGrom started a movement in Texas of pitchers rocking the closed back gloves. This is also another pitch that for me is a really good pitch for Jake. The changeup's got good metric and everything. It's just a matter of if he's commanding it that day, but you see the effect of it there. I mean, 4 swings on the game, 4 misses. As long as he gets it below zone and sells it, it's beautiful. And this camera angle you can't see, so let's try center field, see how high it was actually. Little bit higher out of hand. See, it's at least this high out of hand before you see it fade down. That's nasty. All right, on to the next. Whose bullpen is worse, Tigers or Twins? I think Twins. I know Tigers have blown a ton of games, but if you look at their overall run prevention, it hasn't been that bad. And they have some guys I like. The Twins has been pretty sketchy. Here's a perfect example of the Jacob deGrom paint heater. Look at this. Look how perfect this pitch is. Perfect. And then slider off that, you got no choice but to swing. Yeah. Those pitches tunnel. I mean, you can just see how it works. It's not a complicated thing. Headed right towards that corner, just like the last fastball. They go to swing, and it's not. He's so good. But yeah, he did start a trend with that closed back glove. You know, Roger Clemens used to rock that. Chris Carpenter, I always thought it was a cool look. Get a look at it right there. No hole there, you know, where you see the back of the palm, just completely closed back with that mesh. Gets it from Stevie, the best rep in the game, Mr. Rawlings himself. All right, 2 outs, nobody on here in the 4th. First pitch curveball. That's what he uses his curveball for, as a dumper. It's a good curveball. It's funny because he never uses it. Fastball in, perfection. Fouled off.
The interesting thing is like that can be aggravating.
Yeah, they have Hoffman now. I'm not really. He's still nasty, but I don't think he alone will push the Twins anywhere. This was a great at bat where he painted everything, but look at this slider back foot again. He's so good at executing that pitch. I mean, really, best maybe ever. All right, 5th inning. Here's House. He got to hit that first time. Fastball away ball. 2.5 years of control on a reliever for an injury-prone arm and a 19-year-old catcher. I know it was last year, but imagine if they had those guys in the pen. They would be a lot better. You know, they'd be a lot better. The Dodgers will not be banned from baseball, no.
He's gotten some extra rest and just has a few extra.
accomplished in his career that are amazing, but he's 38 years old, still throwing nearly 100. Fouled back. I say nearly.
deGrom had a good interview after the game. The bullpen catcher was asking why he was throwing his in-game slider in the pen.
2-2.
He just had the extra juice yesterday. He's definitely seemed to have the extra juice, and when he has the extra juice, you better watch out. Another slider. This time it's a take, and then he's going to try it again. So this is the one walk, huh? House with some good at-bats. Took him the other way for a hit, draws a walk the second time. So leadoff walk here in the fifth. Change up dirt.
That much tonight.
Hedrick, they didn't even appreciate at all. They let him go for basically nothing, and that was a couple years ago. But that was bad.
Second and fourth innings.
Who threw the hardest? Side sessions in season. Always amazing that some starters go two side sessions. Day 2. Yeah. deGrom used to throw 2 in his absolute prime. He used to throw 2, and that was suggested by John Smoltz, and he took that to heart.
And that's lifted out into short right field. So short, in fact, that Foscue goes out.
All right, there's one out. Nobody can advance.
7-6.
Here is Cruz. I mean, Jake used to throw 97 without even trying in side sessions, which is kind of scary, you know?
Quick toss over there to keep House a little closer. He is.
I think it's really a slider. He's got a little bit more vert, but I think it's a slider. It's not verty enough to call it a cutter, in my opinion.
Let your teammate, let your friends in on a little bit of the fun here. Is downstairs, 2-1.
I guess the one thing, probably because that four-seam fastball.
Doors right there. That was probably the first challenge heater in the middle the whole game. Another one there, gets it up a little bit more, then back to the slider.
2-2.
Appreciate the gifts coming from TikTok, by the way. Appreciate you guys. There was others too, right? Brock Stewart from the Twins. There was another one I think I'm forgetting. All right, curveball here.
2-2 and a swing and a miss.
You know, this was an interesting choice. He never uses curveball late in the count, never uses it against righties. I felt like he used it almost as a speed-up pitch. Let's start from the 2-2 count on and see how smart he was to go curveball here. Heater, fouled off. Slider,
2-2.
fouled off. Four-seam, fouled off. So he felt like, let's go 2 speeds down. I think slider off the plate, he probably still chases, but he goes 2 speeds down and he totally undresses Cruz. That's a really good thing to do, but pretty rare for Jake. So good feel in the moment there by him, and I think Danny Jansen was the catcher in this game. All right, backdoor slider strike to Nunez. Here comes 97-4. Who is the best twin of all time? I mean, it's got to be Kirby Puckett, right? Or Harmon Killebrew.
The 1-1.
Who else do you got? I mean, who else would it be, you know? Kent Herbeck? It's a tough one. Really tough one. Obviously, you know, Mauer. Love Mauer, one of the nicest people I've ever spoken to. So this was kind of a 3-1 challenge meatball, but he knew what batter was at the plate. It's Nunez. He doesn't have a lot of pop, and he ends up working out with this meatball. This was a very different hitter. This might have ended up poorly, but good job by him knowing his batter and attacking. All right, 6th inning. Best twin of all time is Joe Mauer, no discussion. Okay. Yeah, Joe Mauer. I didn't think about him initially, but yeah, probably Joe Mauer. All right, fly out, 1 pitch out to start off the 6th. Rod Carew is great, but he also was just as big of a player for the Angels as well, right? Do pitchers throw meatballs on purpose? I mean, they wouldn't consider it a meatball. They would consider it a challenge heater. You know, challenge heater. Paul Molitor, he was also a Brewer, though, right? And a Blue Jay. Buck Daddy, just not there yet. I think Mauer's probably the best answer. We got a Denard Span in the chat. I like Rojas a lot that they got in that trade. All right, backdoor slider on 3-1. Didn't want to challenge Lyle there. Now he's going to come with the challenge heater after the slider and punch him out swinging up and away with an exploding heater up and away. I mean, you just cannot catch up to this pitch. And Jake's another one with kind of a low release height, ride effect. Incredibly flat through the zone, so amazing. All right, here's Ortiz, last batter of the day. First pitch slider, gets the hard hit roll over to Berger. And just really a great day, highlighted by really good command and a really good slider, I thought, in this game. And a couple really good choices along the way. Struggled a little bit commanding that changeup, but I thought overall this was one of his best outings. I mean, no doubt, at least results-wise. I mean, 2 base runners, right? One walk, 1 hit, 10 Ks, about as good of a game as you're going to get unless you go deeper. A couple foul balls kind of ruined that, but Jake looks great. He and Evaldi and, Bradford and the other guys, Kumar, they have to pitch this team because they've been sowing to the playoffs if they want to get there, because offensively, even though they have some nice names, they've been very inconsistent offensively. I don't think you can count on the offense to carry them right now, but they're fully in the mix for the American League anyway. So, all right. Yeah, Kirby was the first name I mentioned. I just think Puckett, is the legendary twin, right? Puckett and Killebrew are probably the legendary twins of all time. Also, Blyleven. We didn't mention Blyleven. Mauer, though, born in the Twin Cities, raised in the Twin Cities, #1 overall pick in the draft by the Twins, Hall of Famer for the Twins. Mauer's probably the answer, right, at the end of the day. Probably the answer at the end of the day. That's a tough one, though. That's pretty tough. It's not always the easiest thing, but we get sloppy at times, but we do our thing. The question here was best twin of all time. Trevor Plouffe, great answer. Love that. This chat is realizing me how stacked the Twins bullpen low-key was. It was. It was really stacked last year before all the trading. Yes. Killebrew has to be the guy. He's the MLB logo. This has been a good question. I love it. I also mentioned Kent Herbeck. Any of you guys know who Kent Herbeck is? We're going to do Cole next, and then maybe we'll preview Kate Anderson after that. Do you think deGrom has a Hall of Fame case? We just talked about that. I think yes, but, a lot of people disagree. Joe Nathan's another good name. He was really good. Tony Oliva is a good name, too. Tony Oliva. Great name. Justin's also one of my favorite teammates all time. Had him on the Rockies. And if you listen to Twins games, I sincerely believe he's one of the best color commentators in the league, for sure. So, all right, let's go do Gerrit Cole now. Let's not mess around too far. Let's do Gerrit Cole because this is probably the best he looked all season. I can ask him how he felt later, and we'll see what he says. But this is the best he looked all season, and his season's starting to look pretty damn good. 7-6 since returning from Thomas Johnson surgery. 7-6, 3.11, 16 starts, 92 2/3, 100 punchies, 1.07 whip. Since July, he's been outstanding. His last 4 starts, all of his August starts, he's got a 1.82 ERA. Don't want to pat myself on the back too hard, but I did help him at the break, even though it was all him. I'll give him all full credit. All right. Pitched last night versus the Orioles. He seems to really like Camden Yards. I've remembered a few times watching him in Camden Yards, and he's shoving. 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts. The only run is a Dylan Beavers home run. Here's the mix. 47 heaters, 22 sliders, 13 knuckle curves, and 11 changeups. Got a mixture of whiff on everything. Really used everything in this game, I thought, really well. Here's the crazy part. This was the craziest stat about last night, and we talk about this all the time. But look at this shit right here. 22 of 23 first pitch strikes. 22 of 23 first pitch MFN strikes. That is ridiculous. That is how you do it as a starting pitcher, especially once he was pitching with the lead. 55% zone rate. Just a fantastic outing from Gerrit, so let's watch it. Baltimore and the Yankees. From Camden Yards. Also, shout out to Yarbrough, 9 up, 9 down. Shout out to Yarbrough, too. He pitched great in this game. Let me just really quick see what's up here with this one question. Do you think the Yankees Orglax pitching development? No, I don't think so. I think they're pretty good. I mean, Schlittler, Will Warren, those two, they developed. Those guys are great. Tons of guys that they've traded for other pieces. They're really good at velocity development. I know I see. I don't think they were last in velo last year. I'd love to get that fact checked because they try to develop a lot of velo and they tend to have it. So no, I think they're pretty good. But, you know, a lot of times you never really see the fruits of their labor, especially on the pitching side, because they don't ever get a chance because they have too many guys. But I don't think they're bad. I think they're more middle of the pack than anything. Anyway, here we go. Gerrit Cole. Here we go. Gerrit Cole. And you're going to notice, just like Jake, he had phenomenal control in this game, not only on first pitch strikes, but throughout. Also, he could throw his curveball in the zone pretty much on command. So, heater away, curveball for Chase. Yep, Clark Schmidt. Don't forget about back in the day, Ivan Nova, even though that's a different group. Knuckle curve here. That's a ball. 1-2. Chase slider, good location, fouled off, and then he's going to throw a really good heater up and in zone to blow it by Jackson. That was an excellent, excellent command. And his fastball had some serious life to it. 17 inches of vert. And you can just see it just hovercrafting right through there. That's the first out of the first. All right, 96-8. Base hit to right. One thing about also criticizing the Yankees with their development a little bit, even though they've had some good ones, and I know a lot of people want to crap on their hitting development. Hey, dude.
Hi, Dad.
Do you want to come?
Come outside, see my present for you.
You have a present for me? Hold on, guys. My son needs me for 1 second, so hang on. What do you got, bro? Oh, my God. Look at that thing. Have you been hitting that? All right, I'm still online, though. I can't leave for too long. Let me see it. Let me see you hit it. Yeah. Did you just get this? Oh, okay. All right, cool. I'm going to go back to my show, all right? Yeah. I'll be back. Very cool. All right, I'm back. Very cool, very cool. He showed me a cool toy. But you also have to remember, they draft at the end of the draft every year. So they're not getting that blue chip prospect most of the time that you can select in the top 10 picks. So, you know, it's a lot easier to develop when you have like a can't miss Paul Skeens type of guy. You know what I mean? Anyway, base hit right there. Wow, we never mentioned Torrey Hunter. Good call. Good call. Good call. This is absolutely not what they need to do. That man does not know what he's talking about. It works because it's Aaron Judge. And Aaron Judge can miss-hit balls for home runs. And it might work for Spencer Jones because he can miss-hit home runs. But for the average hitter, that would be an absolute disaster. He's got one way of teaching hitting, and it would be really easy to pitch to it if everybody tried to do it who couldn't do it. So, totally disagree about teacher, man. All right, pretty good battle here with Gunnar, and he's going to end up walking him. So he gets in a little trouble here in the first, and I feel like from this moment on, Gerrit really locks it in. Strike one. Caleb Durbin went to a few different hitting people. It wasn't all Teacher Man. Teacher Man's so quick to take credit for everything. Caleb Durbin was a pretty good player before. So, I don't know. I have a big problem with these hitting experts. Especially guys who think that it's a one-size-fits-all type of swing. One-size-all-fits type of swing is idiotic. And it's too easy for pitchers to handle that. I agree Driveline as well. Is another one that they teach just pull side, get out early, pull side fly ball. Easy to pitch to that. Really is. All right, here's a strikeout to Basayo. Up and away, you're going to notice that a lot of swing throughs.
This is Gerrit Cole for the first time.
Yeah, you sure are. 22 of 23.
2 on, 2 out.
Heater. 99 heater here. Just off the corner. And another heater. So 4 heaters in a row to Encarnacion Strand. I feel like he got a little lucky with this last one. It just happened to go right to Caballero. I thought in the moment he could have went curveball there, but anyway, like I mentioned, he starts really rolling after the first inning. So here it is, Dylan Beaver's second inning. Screaming heater right there, and you can actually visually see that this fastball was different. This is 21 inches of vert. Look at this ball stay up. Out of hand, this has to feel like it's going to go down, right? And then it just... That's as pure a heater as you're ever going to see. Strike one. Do you think the Pirates traded Cole too early in his career? Probably too late, but I know they were good for a section of his career. But they were never going to sign him, you know? So, I mean, they had to trade him at some point. They had to figure out where they were within the window. I know they got Musgrove out of it. He ended up being a pretty good piece. But I don't know. That was a tough one. When you know you have a guy that's that valuable, they're weighing it with Skeens right now. When's the right moment to pull the trigger for maximum return without feeling the pain of letting go of a potential franchise player, you know? All right, pop up there. Next up.
Wonderful series. Always a threat to bunt.
Do you think being more of a good hitter is something more God-given than being a good pitcher? There's probably an aspect of it being a little more God-given. Some of just the hand-eye coordination stuff, eyesight, vision, some of that stuff is God-given. But no, I also think it's training. It's training, and see, there's another one of those really good first-pitch curveballs. He does this all night, as we'll see as this game progresses. So many first-pitch curveball strikes, really good ones. Maybe a little bit more, I would say, God-given, but at the same time, I mean, baseball is one of those sports. You can train yourself into a major leaguer. I really believe it. There's that 98 heater down. This is something that he's gotten good at, too, this year, is the down freeze. Look at this pitch. Just right on an absolute rope to the bottom, and a beautiful second inning. Here is the third inning. Fastball strike.
Comes out of UCLA.
Yeah, they traded him too. They have to trade everybody. Roll over to short. One out there. Here's back to Jackson Holiday.
Free agent contract with the Yankees.
Strike. Well, I mean, I won't disagree with you on that. I mean, way easier to make it in football than baseball. I don't think that's even close. Way more guys on the team. Much less skill needed in most of the positions. It's more of a brute athleticism type of thing that you can just train. Think about how many days a year you can be in the gym as a football player. Like 300? You know? Baseball's not like that. You got a game every night, so... I think quarterbacking is, like, really hard and some of the skill positions, but I think in general, baseball's way harder. Way harder. All right, another pop-up on the fastball. The fastball continues to play. Here is Alonso. Strike one again. Curveball fouled away. He was also 0-2 or 1-2 on something like 90% of the batters, so it's just crazy. Slider down, just missed that.
What a great 2019 season Trey had.
Heater up, and then heater again for a strikeout. So, I mean, he had that finishing move. Early in the year when he was scuffling a little bit, he just wasn't getting the miss on his fastball. And he was never getting away with it when it wasn't placed properly. Like, this is placed improperly, but it gets by him anyway. So he did something with his deception where that's ticked up a little bit, and that's made a lot of things play really well. All right, fourth inning, slider strike.
Windup. He did not used to go over his head like that. And when did that come up? When he was actually doing his rehab.
Ball there. Here comes another heater.
Right around the waist.
Dotted down, fouled away.
Stuck with it.
And then slider back foot. Gets it below zone. This one was really very depthy. Look at the visual on this pitch. Middle, right? Maybe a hair down, and then below zone right as the bat starts. It's almost like it's got a magnet repelling the bat. So we've seen deGrom do it. Now we've seen Cole do it. That is the chase area, folks. Make your gyro slider look like a fastball. Get it right below the zone. Chase all day long. All right, here's Basayo. First pitch, heater away. Tries to pull it. He had been looking to pick up some quick outs to get his pitch count back in check, and Basayo cooperated right there very nicely. Here is Encarnacion Strand. Slider away, swing and miss.
Nothing but fastballs his first time, too.
Hey, Adam, I've always heard people say the best pitch is a well-placed fastball. Do you agree? No. Well-placed anything, but hitters like fastballs more than the other pitches. I think they all matter. All pitch types matter, but there's no denying that batters hit for a lower average in the aggregate on breaking pitches than fastballs. So hard to totally agree, but I agree. Yeah, the difference that they reference on the broadcast, Random Kid, is basically the difference between like Mike Trout level of hitter at 1-0 and like, I don't want to disrespect anybody, but a really bad backup catcher perhaps hitter at 0-1. So it's massive difference. Massive difference. Here's a happy accident high slider to Encarnacion Strand. So another 1-2-3 inning. We're on to the 5th. Quite the contrary. I think changeup has gone up in usage this year. Tampa Bay is really the main team championing that. There's a changeup right there from Gerrit. I think changeup's coming back around, and I think you're going to see more and more of that as we go on. Does the windup help you go 3 times through an order since you can change up the timing? You can still change up the timing out of the stretch as well, but I would say, yeah, any little wrinkle you can do to change up the timing is always good as at-bats go on. So Beavers crushed this pitch. This was an impressive swing. Gerrit had a very interesting reaction to this. They're going to show him in a second, I think. Or maybe this is the Orioles broadcast. Yeah, this is the Orioles broadcast. Let me just see Gerrit, because he gives a very interesting reaction. Anyway, his reaction was kind of like, huh, how did he do that? Now, I've always said, watching Beavers, that Beavers' swing is built a little bit more for the top of the zone. But this was incredible, nevertheless, to get around on this. So let's watch this progress. That got to 1-2 on the curveball. So in Gerrit's mind, he slowed him down a little bit, and he's fully doing it with this changeup. So you would think a heater up, timing-wise, would be great. But credit to Beavers, he never comes off the heater, never comes off his strength, and then it's just a snap up and in. I mean, to me, this was an incredible swing and a very rare swing. But great job by Beavers for the 1 run off Gerrit last night. And you can see it from the side, how quick he is to snap here. Very weird hack. I don't know what to say about this swing, except it's a stiff front side. And he kind of swoops in it and keeps his hand super tight. But, hey, the shit worked. And that was a bomb. What was the exit velo on that? 102.2. So that's the 1 run. And then he would keep rolling.
And the home runs are now starting to arrive for Dylan.
Foul bunt.
Tavares hits one pretty well to center.
What percentage of changeups thrown this season are kick changes, you think? I would say probably 40%. If it's pretty high now. The majority probably still aren't, but I would say a lot of people did go to the kick change because there's no doubt it gives you a better movement profile on your changeup. So pretty good. That time he kept the heater away from Tavares, so even though it was a pretty good swing at it, he ran out of room in center, and then he gets another 1-pitch gift here on the first pitch pop-up from Cowser. 18 inches of vert on that. That's another evidence that this fastball was special at times last night. Look at this ball stay above the barrel. Brilliant. All right, next up is Narvi. Former Yankee. Maybe not big league Yankee, but former Yankee. Slider strike, heater up, fouled off.
And you can overswing because you have so many different ways to try to be a better.
After years of being the veteran player coach type in a clubhouse and at your facility, what do you now believe is the biggest gap between what young pitchers think they need to succeed? Well, it's a little tough, and I never shy away from telling the truth, which is like your stuff absolutely matters. Like they're not going to trust you for quite a long time if your stuff's not impressive. So that's your way in the door. But I would say it's like when we talked to Payton Tolle today, learning things that he's looking for, adding in more wrinkles to your game, making things harder on the batter in a multitude of ways is really things that you learn as you go, especially at the big league level. And I think young pitchers really struggle to see that. They think it's stuff. And it is to some extent, but there's so many other layers to it. And if you're just the stuff guy, what do you do when your stuff goes down? Because everybody's stuff's gonna go down over time.
Third time through the order, he's 1-1 on.
What about his swing shows he's better at the top?
3 or 4 different ways to get
I just noticed last year that his swing is definitely built for the top. Like, he doesn't have necessarily the craziest attack angle where it's like super underneath. He's just more quick. He stays very tall in his swing, Beavers, and it's just a little bit of a rotation short arm type of thing. And I think if I remember correctly looking at him, he's got a pretty good up and in spot. There's a changeup right there. When Beavers comes back up again, I'll go quickly look at his True Media page. All right, slider here to Pete. Changeup coming here. Exactly. Solo shot. Nobody cares.
Now we
right?
found out some things after the game on for long. It loses track of the fly ball somewhere. Right
Changeup again for strike there. See, he's mixed in a lot more changeups as well.
They're not in that world at this point.
Tolle mentioned the velocity gains in his first minor league season. How have teams found a way to develop velo gains while still accumulating innings? Well, they do a lot of drill work. You know, core velocity band, and it's different for every pitcher because what the program spits out, especially with the Red Sox, is it gives you a hint of what they think you can improve. They're big on center of mass, the speed of your center of mass moving down the mound. So perhaps that was one of the biggest things he had to work on. Perhaps there was something in a position. Perhaps there was a timing thing. So they do a lot of drill work between games would be my main guess. All right, 2 on here. It's got to work. Was that Beavers again, actually? No, that was Gunner. All right, we'll get to Beavers when we get to Beavers. All right, here's Basayo. Change up strike. And you see Gerrit going to some alternate pathways here third time through. Change up, then slider out of that tunnel to get to 0-2, and then change up again. So just when you think you're going to get fastballs, you get change up, slider, change up in leverage. So I have to say that was very impressive by G here. Completely switching it up, going off the script, and embarrassing a young hitter. Really nice. All right, that's going to bring up Encarnacion Strand. Curveball strike.
All for strikes.
This is a very long-winded question. Let me see if I can get to that at some point. Yes, very top-handed swing is what I see in Beavers. But there's also some data to support it, so we'll get to that in a minute. 4-seam up.
He's got a good look at Cole.
4-seam away, fouled off. Here comes the changeup. Pulled foul, and 4-seam again. I did think this was a little bit of a risky pitch location-wise. It's directly down Broadway, but it had 18 inches of vert on it, which it seems that whenever he needed it in this game, he was able to put a little extra lift on that fastball and get guys to swing under it. So that's what happened there. That ended his night. Beavers doesn't come up again, but that gives me a good chance to now go dig into Dylan Beavers for 1 second. Boom. I had Tolle up here earlier because I was curious if I could see anything. All right, here's Beavers. We got to go from 25 to 26. And here is that 4-seam versus righties. And you see there's a red spot at the very top middle of the zone. That's rare. Most of the times, lefties versus righties in the modern game, it's going to be a middle down heat map. Now, he's got middle down as well, but that top shelf stuff tells me a little bit that he can cover that pitch, which to me is a little bit rare. Also, left on left inside as well. Also, though, when you go to Beavers' swing path, let's see what that reveals about him real quick. Bat tracking data. Mr. Dylan Beavers. Attack angle being below 10, meaning it's flatter than average. So he's not particularly scoopy. He's a little flatter than average, which always when you see that, they have a little better chance of covering velocity or up in the zone. He's also right there at that above average, the combo I talked about earlier, right around average swing length, so it's not particularly long. Doesn't take him a long time to get the swing going, which usually hurts you to get up in the zone, and also has above average bat speed. And then if you just watch him, with the way that he kind of gets his swing off, where it's like a hip thrust move, he gets vertical at the moment that he's hip thrusting. And we can watch that again, and I know I'm saying thrusting a lot, but if you watch the home run swing from the side, watch how tall he gets as he's hitting through the ball. Like he goes from down to up. You see how his body straightens out? That's his natural move. He wants to thrust the hips forward at that final move. When you do that and you're very vertical, you're going to be able to cover the top a little better than others. Also, when you pair that with a pretty standard swing path. So it makes sense a little bit why he was able to cover that pitch, but nevertheless, very impressive pitch. As for Gerrit, that was great. All he did basically was compound the strike zone. He was able to get a little bit of a lead there, and then he did the rest from there. All right, so let's answer this question, and then we'll go on to another baseball player after this. I have about half an hour left to do the stream. Looking back on 15 years and 700-plus appearances, what single mental shift or realization about pitching do you think extended your career the most? And was it something you found early or later? Okay, this is great. This is great because there's a lot of different things that I learned over time. But if I had to pick one, the biggest adjustment mentally, this is what it would be. I was sitting at home, spring training of 2013, maybe 2012. And I'm watching a basketball game. Kevin Durant's playing. It's Oklahoma City and whoever. Kevin Durant had a bad shooting night in the first half, and they interviewed him at halftime, and they said, you've had a really tough shooting night. You're 0 for 8 from the floor, whatever. What are you looking to accomplish in the second half? And his response changed my whole career. He said, well, I know my next shot's going in. I always assume my next shot's going in. That alone right there completely changed my brain chemistry because I realized that I wasn't knowing my pitches were going to go where I wanted. I didn't know I was going to execute my pitch. I was hoping my pitches were going to go where they wanted. I was trying to throw a pitch where I wanted. I wasn't doing, I was trying. So really Yoda taught us this lesson in Star Wars, but I didn't listen to it then. It took Kevin Durant to teach it to me. And from that point on, all I practiced, there's two things I practiced in catch play every day. There's a million adjustments, but the two main things were one, knowing that the pitch was going to go where I wanted it to go. And if it didn't, assuming it was a fluke, and then knowing the next one was going to go. So it's a change from hoping to knowing. And then the second thing was just how my eyes worked. I wanted to look at the starting point of my throw beyond the throw. Instead of like starting to get going with my throwing and then getting to here and kind of it all becoming blurry and just kind of looking in this general foresty area, I wanted to really lock in on where I wanted to go. So I would get my target, go away from my target, then re-lock in, and I wanted to stay on that for a beat beyond the throw. And the years I was able to execute that were my best seasons, 2018, 2019, 2022. So the mental controls the physical, and that's the answer to that. All right. Thought that was a pretty good lesson right there. But that for me, that was the answer. All right, what else we got in here? My apologies, trying to understand the game better from a major league perspective. I thought it was great. Don't listen to those. Don't listen to those people who are worried. This is a fun game. What about Spencer Strider's fastball? It was good. He kind of lost it a lot. So we'll see him when he gets back. All right, who is next on the list that we need to watch? That was Gerrit. We've watched him and deGrom. We knew they were both great. Let me go back to my coffee cuppers. Do we want to take a quick break from the pitchers to watch a 5-hit day from Zach Neto? I say, why not? 5-hit day from Zach Neto. What kind of season is Zach Neto having? One of the few guys that wasn't shipped out by the Angels. They have made wholesale changes like crazy. So he's having a tough year. Tough year on defense, not his best year on offense. Does have 21 home runs. There is a lot to like about Neto's game. But yeah, it's been a little bit of a struggle bus at times. So let's go into the Dugout app. Let's pull up Houston versus the Angels. Right, that's who it was. Houston versus the Los Angeles Angels. And it's last night, and it's Mr. Zach Neto. 5 for 6. All right, 5 for 6 facing Peter Lambert. First hit of the game is a flare to right where he stays inside it and loops it out and gets rewarded. Get jammed. That's what they say. Good hitters get jammed. Good hitters get jammed. Oh, yeah, Grayson Rodriguez. We could maybe watch him. All right, here's his second at-bat versus Peter Lambert. Fastball fouled back. Change-up coming here. Good take. And this is the one time he's going to get out. Sinker in. And it's funny is he hit that ball a lot better than the first one, and he's out. So that's baseball for you. 2 at-bats, 1 for 2. Here comes the third at-bat. First pitch, fastball, all over it, lines it into left. So what Lambert did here, which is interesting, he had bases loaded here, right? He's in a predicament. Instead of trying to throw a borderline chase pitch here, first pitch, and not get ambushed, which is what I would recommend. What he tried to do was just throw harder, and he thought throwing harder was going to help him here. He threw 94.6, but Neto was dead red on the heater, and so he didn't care. And I think that was a little bit of a mistake. If you're going to throw that pitch, you want to get it a little bit higher. Anyway, nice hit there. So 2 for 3, 2 singles. Next at bat versus Brian King. Heater up ball. 2-0. 2-0 challenge heater. He got himself some good pitches to hit in this game. He got himself a lot of fastballs, and that ball's smashed. Left center, there's the 3-run bomb off of King. 2-0 predictable heater, beats him to the spot. 2 good swings in a row covering the upper third of the strike zone. 107.6 off the bat, and this was a great swing from Neto. Now, one thing about Neto I've noticed is he's changed his swing a ton over the years. Leg kick, no leg kick, wide, narrow, open, closed. You name it, he's tried it. Right now, he's going wide into this load. This is the load right now. Definitely powerful. I mean, you see the exit velo that came out of this. Nice swing. All right, and then he's got 2 more hits to get. Here's Imai he's facing now out of the pen. Reverso slider.
Neto had an RBI single in the 4th. It's right there for a strike, 1 and 2.
All right, trying to get him here. 2-2 again. Reverso slider fouled off, and then reverso slider hit. Imai's the weirdest pitcher in the world, but man, Neto's hitting the ball in the perfect locations. Right in between Varsho and Trammell there. Trammell. And it's more RBIs. This is how he ended up with 7 RBIs. I don't think he hit this ball very well, right? 95, but just perfectly in the gap.
Ball hit to left center. Could it split the gap?
Perfectly in the gap. Great pitch. Great hit. All right, and then another hit. He's going to get off Lamont Wade. So in order to have a 5-hit day, he needed a position player, but nevertheless, 5-hit day, pretty impressive. Great day for Neto. He's hoping to put together a great second half. I don't know what the future looks like for the Angels. I think they're in a total rebuild situation. And that's kind of where it's at. I mean, this is the lineup they threw out there yesterday. Siri, who won't be there next year. Peraza, Guzman, Neto, Ballesteros, Grissom. So all those guys they have control over. Lowe, Heineman, Frazier probably won't be there next year. Obviously, there's Trout and Shanuel, Meckler. It's just a bunch of young guys. They're trying to find their way. It's going to be interesting to see what happens there, whether Mo sticks with himself, hires himself as GM or hires somebody else. I guess we'll see. Guess we'll find out soon. Neto's kind of a free swinger, so you got to get ahead of him with something soft, and then you kind of try to expand. That's probably the main issue. Yeah, except that they never really rebuild. You know, they say that they're just going to be good the next year, and then they're not, and then they're not, and then they're not. All right, let me answer this question first, and then we'll get on to Grayson, and then we'll watch maybe Bieber after that. Is all pitching development almost all mocap and force plates data, spitting out answers and coaches give them the drills, or are still using the coaches see not just with the data as change up? Much more at the big league level, conversation and human interaction. I don't know about minor league level, but I do get the sense like there's so much mocap, so much drills, so much just trying to optimize a pitch for Stuff Plus going on. But I mean, in the big league level, there's so much conversation because there's so much more depth to the issues that you go through. So that would be my answer. All right, let's go to Grayson Rodriguez, who also pitched. This was a good game for him. And we haven't watched much of him, you know, early in the, you know, he got traded in the offseason for Taylor Ward. There was some injury concerns. I mean, shit, he's got a 6.41 ERA and 14 starts, but we know what he's capable of. You know, one of the former top prospects in the game, really good changeup, throws hard. I've been wondering if he's the type of guy that can improve, but I'm curious what it looked like in this game because this was his best game in a long time. 7 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs not earned, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts, also versus Houston in the same game. Let me just check his player breakdown to see what the mix was. A lot of fastballs, 63 fastballs, 24 changeups, 9 sliders, 3 curves. So he's trying to go back to the basics. Throw hard, throw a lot of changeups. He does have a big difference in speed between his fastball and his changeup. So I think I'm just going to do result pitches on him. And you can see it started off lousy, so let's see how he fixed it. He goes walk. Not that I can blame you going walk to Alvarez. But then after that, he does start to get some favorable. 3-1. This was such a massive pitch. And it ends up being a hit. Nobody moves up, though, to score, so it's bases loaded, no outs in the first. And he was able to put up a great start after that. How? Ground ball to third. Vaughn Grissom in the shitter. So that's an unearned run. Man, this game couldn't have started off any worse. Still nobody out. 0-2 count to Varsho. Fastball away popped up. This one's pretty shallow. It's probably close to go. Let's see. They do not go because it's Jordan. So Meckler, pretty solid throw in there. That holds them. And then a 3-pitch strikeout of Trammell. 4-seam dotted away. Let's watch this whole sequence. Changeup. Pulled foul. Hello, my love. Bonjour from Paris. Hello. 4-seam up.
It's 0-2.
And then 4-seam down and away. Didn't mean to do that, but that's a really good pitch. And then he gets out of it on this 2-2 changeup to Smith. Let's see how much the changeup is really the reason for his success. Because to me, the changeup is kind of his thing. So really rocky first inning, but is able to escape that. And then it's zeros from here on out. All right, first Nick Allen. Fastball, line drive up the middle, base hit. All right, 0-2 to Vasky. This could be 2. Shanuel to short. Neto back to first. Double play. So beautiful. Pitcher's best friend right there. And then a strikeout of Lamont Wade on a changeup. That was pretty nasty. On to the third. Another leadoff hit. It's Jordan. 0-2 changeup. Is this an error or just perfect placement on the line? Perfect placement on the line. Meckler had a lot to deal with there. Ground rule double for Jordan. Here's Paredes.
1-1 pitch has popped up off the bat of Paredes. Foul territory. Nolan Shotwell is there.
Vasquez says Imai doesn't even know which way a slider's going to break when he throws it. Well, I mean, the pitch mix is what it is. The movement is what it is, and it's a mixed bag for Imai, as there's another out with a changeup. Again, I think all these outs are going to be mostly with changeups. Here's one with a fastball. Altuve top of the zone. That's gas. No way around it. That's 98. That's gas. And then another. So okay, so some mostly on fastballs and changeups, I guess. Varsho beats him with that, pops him up. This time Meckler's going to handle this one. And that's it for the third. 4th inning. Changeup.
Taylor taps one towards third. Charging is Grissom. His throw is close to being on time, and it is just barely.
Nice play. Here's a strikeout on a fastball, probably up. Yep, very good, very good. He definitely got into more of a groove here. Yeah, probably about the start of the 3rd inning. A lot of strikes. There's an out on a slider. I believe that's his first out on not a fastball or a changeup. Here's another leadoff hit. Vasquez to right. Man, he definitely had to pitch around some traffic. Now a strikeout to Lamont.
Lamont down on strike. Only missed 2 games all year.
4-seam here. This could be seeing eye single. He definitely dealt with a lot of traffic, but he had such a huge lead that I bet you that allowed him to really just continue to pound the zone. Fastball here to Paredes, chop to third. Grissom the second one, onto first, and man, Paredes just not running. How slow are you, bro? Like, he's either hurt or just something. I mean, he made Luke Voigt look fast right there, or Mark Vientos, or somebody. All right, 6th inning, first pitch out, rolled over. We'll take it. Thank you, hitter. Next is Varsho. Yeah, a little hobble in there, right? Fly ball to left, caught on the track. Still throwing 98 right now in the 6th, so physically that's a really good sign. 98 again. So I would say if you're looking for, you know, what to look at with Grayson, he looks healthy. That's a big thing. Changeup and fastball are fine. Still trying to develop those other pitches to make them pluses.
Is that right? Yeah.
But at least he seems healthy based off the metrics here and how hard he's throwing. Line out there, and then a final out of the game on a changeup. Popped it up. Yeah, Paredes, that was a 7 percentile speed. Yeah, that was slow, boy. Slow boy. All right, so that's it for Grayson. Probably his best start in a while. Started off kind of crazy. I guess the biggest thing for him is just like, can he make his slider and his curveball usage? Because it's going to be hard to pitch fastball changeup forever, but he does look more healthy. And that's a good sign, because that's been a big thing with him, is being hurt. But tough year. It's nice for him to be on a team that can give him starts. Certainly not over for him, but he's got a long way back, I would say, before you can really, you know, be back to being impressed with him. It's more the feel of the off speed, and then the command factor, and just staying healthy. Prove that you can stay healthy for a while. So that's the biggest thing with him. All right, we're probably gonna watch Bieber next. Let me just get in the chat here. You've reinvented your arsenal multiple times, including early adoption of the sweeper. When you're experimenting with a new grip or movement profile, how do you decide whether the pitch works yet? You have to take the leap of faith at some point, and like usually you're designing a pitch for a reason. Like there's a moment where you're like, oh, this is the moment for it. Like with lefties, I always had a hard time getting them chased below the zone, so I try to create a death ball or a kick change or whatever, and I'd practice throwing that chase pitch below the zone. And you just know it when you're in the moment, like, oh, I just got him to swing at a fastball. It's a chase moment here. Let's throw it out of that line and get it below zone. And then you see through trial and error if the pitch is actually good or not. Of course, Stuff Plus will try to give you some sort of grade about how your pitch should play, but we all know that that doesn't mean squat. What really matters is what happens in the ball game and how that hitters actually react to your stuff. So yeah, it's trial and error in the game. There's no other way around it. At some point, you got to trust it. That's just facts. What was my IVB? Let's look it up. I mean, never really particularly high on my fastball due to my supinator, 80% cutting the ball tendencies. Much more of a sinker. So here's 2025. I only pitched 3 games. Averaged 16.2 IVB here, that's way high for me in my career. 16.2 from a 25-degree arm angle. It's probably a really good fastball. My sinker was 6 and 17. Let's go back to like my first year with the Yankees, so C level. Sinker was 7.2 and 14. It got more sinky over time. Like 2025 was a good year, 6.3 and 16, and then the 4-seam was 14 inches of vert. So about 13, 14, sometimes 15 in my career. But I had the low release height, so that definitely helped. I know you guys aren't seeing this unless you're on TikTok. But yeah, this was 2022. Probably my last really good year, so about 14 on it. About 14 on it. What's the adjustment a pitcher can do in case your pitches are not working the way you want? It's all about maintenance, daily maintenance. You know, that's why your catch play is so important. Monitoring yourself, having a feel for yourself. It's always micro adjustments. You're always doing small things throughout time. I used to mark up the balls so that when I would play catch, I could keep my spin the way I wanted, whether it be a 4-seam or a sinker or a changeup or a sweeper. You know, you can mark up the balls and give yourself a visual aid. So we do a lot of stuff like that. I never really got righties to chase below zone either. My chase, I never was a big chase guy. You know, in 2022, I had 44th percentile chase, but let's go look at my career year. This is my career year with the Rockies. 13th percentile chase. 13th percentile chase. So chase wasn't my game. There's strikeouts looking, weak contact. that sort of thing. I mean, 2019 was also my best year ERA-wise. Chase percentage 1. Percentile first. So just wasn't my game. And a big issue with that was I couldn't get below zone because of my low slot. Well, I couldn't throw anything that started high and got low. It was mostly started middle and went right or left. And I could upshoot, but down shooting was tough unless I could get, you know, way above the ball a little bit. So that's the biggest thing. All right, let's do Shane Bieber. Shane Bieber and the Blue Jays have now won 7 series in a row. Soriano, we know about Cease. You know, we know about potentially, I don't know if Savage is going to make it back or not. They have some other guys, Spencer Miles, that have been very effective at the back of their bullpen. But Bieber, they really need to get going here if they're going to be able to, I think, run into this last spot in the playoffs. And he had a great start yesterday. Now, this is his numbers this year. He's had a weird year. He had some fatigue, elbow, something coming into the year. So here's where we're sitting right now. 5-2, 453 and 11 starts. 55 2/3, 44 strikeouts. One thing that's weird to see from him right now is his walk percentage. So that either tells me something's off with his command overall or he's a little afraid to come in the zone with his current stuff. That being said, I pitched a really good game in Tampa yesterday, so let's watch it, and we'll watch the whole thing. And then this will be our last guy for today. This has been a long stream. It's been pretty good. All right, 7 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, no walks, 7 strikeouts, player breakdown, 45 heaters, 16 curves, and I'll talk Kade Anderson on the way out. 16 curves, 14 changeups, 13 cutters, 7 sliders, 6 sinkers, 28% whiff, pretty good first pitch percentage. And, you know, tough place for everybody to play, especially the Jays, is the Trop, but he did a great job helping them win this series. So, Rays and Jays, it is Shane Bieber, former Cy Young Award winner. When he was on the Windians. And here we go. Chandler Simpson is the first up. All right, 4-seam strike to open up the game versus Chandler Simpson. 4-seam down. Cutter coming here. That's down 2-1 and another fastball. Now Chandler Simpson's just trying to slap and run, so he's a little bit of a different style player. I like pitching him up in the zone, trying to get him to hit a fly ball. Anyway, pounds that to second. 1 up, 1 down. Here is Junior Caminero. Fastball painted down and away. We have watched some of the more commandy starters in baseball right now. deGrom, Cole, and Bieber in this stream today. 93 away, dotted, and knuckle curve to the chase area below zone. Perfect. Beautiful command, beautiful chase. Next up is Aranda. 4-seam painted away. Cutter down in. Here comes another cutter. Up in target. Pulls it down in again. Now knuckle curve. Behind in the count. Backdoor action. Beautiful pitch. Called to strike. Probably a ball. But that's the Alejandro Kirk effect. Change up off that line. Pulled foul. And now 4-seam, I think up will get him. Let's see it. Yep, up gets him. Aranda chases. Very, very nice sequence right there. That's the end of the first. On to the second. Yandy Diaz got to jam this guy. Sinker in, strike 1. Here comes the 4. Takes that for 0-2, and then another fastball probably up for the punchy. No, I just got him to wave at 2 pitches very oddly. Went from in to away to all the way away. A little bit of an emergency swing here by Yandy. Looking for something in, I think. So that's 1 out. Here is Mullins. Change up strike.
His walk rate's about 4.5 per 9.
And popped it up. Jimenez is there. Good fastball there. Here is Johnny DeLuca, former Dodger farmhand. Cutter away. Cutter away. Yeah, far cry from walking 6 2/3 of an inning of a start a few starts ago. 2-0 curve, drops it back in, gets back into the count. And now sinker in. Perfect spot. And a nice play by Jimenez. Bounce pass over to first. Beautiful second inning, on to the third. Richie Palacios. Fastball dotted up and away. Adam, do you feel like you performed better in the high leverage situations or just in normal appearances? Yeah, I feel like I did, but I mean, obviously I blew it in some games. But I don't know. I always felt like I did. Yeah, I felt like it brought the best out of me. The bigger moments, I would say, throughout the season. All right, 3-1 here. Switches to sinker on 3-1. Gets a swing over the top. Now he's going slider. Pulled foul, and now fastball. Let's see the location. They're going up and away. Misses up and in, but that was a good spot. Kirky's going to handle this one behind the plate. Oof, a little sketchy, but makes the play for the first out of the third. Here's Jorge Mateo. Been on every team in the American League East, I feel like. Maybe not the Jays, but most of them. Fastball away ball. Fastball away ball. Here comes Cutter. Ball, so 3-0 here. Right down the middle. 3-1 challenge heater. Challenge won by Bieber. That gets him to 3-2. Now he switches to sinker. Probably going to blow him up here. Yeah, blows him up. Pops him up. Ernie is there. Nice pitching. 2 outs. And Nick Fortes, who I'd love to tell you stinks, but he did hit a walk-off home run off me one time. Fastball right down the middle right there. 1-1. Knuckle curve coming. Strike at the top, and then four-seam called. Let's see the paint. Paint. He goes for the tap, but sorry, Nick, that was right there. So beautiful third inning. We are on to the fourth. Back to the top of the order. Chandler Simpson. Foul ball fouled off. Another heater coming. Let's see the location. Down and away. Nice pitch. And another fastball. They just go right at Simpson. I think that's the plan. Make him put it in play. You do not want to walk him. Of course, that's what speed does right there, though. I mean, this is he wants to hit it weak because then it makes your fielders so sketchy. You know? Oh. All right, man on second, no outs. Junior Caminero. I like it. Crowd him with the fastball. Here comes the curve. This is going to be the 1 run. That ball's absolutely smoked. That's got to be 115. Junior Caminero is a dangerous person at the plate. 114.6, so I was right on. 115 basically off the bat. This ball's absolutely hammered. Holy shit. I want to see that swing from the side. That's ridiculous. Ridiculous. All right, next up, Aranda. Change up strike. Actually, they called that a ball, even though that was a strike. Heater up, fouled off. Still struggling with the heater up. Change up down.
14 and Chandler 67.
Inside and knuckle curve below zone. Yeah, good location below zone. Nasty. That's big if you want to get out of a jam. Getting one guy where nobody can advance. Foul ball. Yeah, Junior only hit that at 14-degree launch. I mean, that ball almost that ball hurt that fence when it hit it. That literally hurt the fence. Knuckle curve down and knuckle curve again. This time Yandi's going to get a hit. So this was probably his toughest inning, huh? Here's Mullins. Popped up. Change up down, swing and miss. Change up away and four seam away. Perfect spot down and away. Mullins trying to lift though. Pies it out to Daz Cameron, who had a home run in this game. Daz Cameron, I think, in the leadoff spot for the Jays. And then a little bit fortunate here. Hard grounder, Okamoto over to Valenzuela. There was an injury situation in this game with Jimenez, so they had to shift the whole infield around. Lucas came in, ended up getting some big hits later. All right, here's Palacios. Ball one. Fouled off. Don't forget to like and follow and join the Discord. Backdoor curveball and fastball. Let's see the location. Another perfectly placed up and away. McAdoo is there for that. That's one out in the fifth. Kirk makes everything look easy. I mean, it would be a treat to throw to Alejandro Kirk. There's definitely something to be said for a great receiving catcher. And he does. He makes it look so easy back there. You saw the way he framed that. Appreciate it, Mike. Cutter fouled off, so 1-2 count here to Mateo. He's going to go for his chases. A little too far on that one, and he'll make a better pitch here. And get the chase. Mateo didn't agree. Let's see, what do we think? I think you're out, cuz. See it in full speed, though. Yeah, it's hard to tell, but I think you went. All right, next up is Fortes. Dinger Singer says Kirk is the main reason for this hot streak for the Jays on both sides of the ball. I mean, he's just a winning player, straight up. All right, 0-1, and sinker down, fly out to center. Beautiful fifth inning. And we're on to the sixth, back to the top of the order. Simpson's seen nothing but heaters so far, so he naturally starts him with the changeup. And here comes fastball. That's what you want. You want a fly ball out of Simpson every time since he doesn't hit home runs. Can of corn right there. Good pitch. Now back to Caminero. I don't go back and forth like that. I pick out one player at a time basically, and I break down their performance. And we look for good performances. I know Seymour pitched for this game and he was pretty good, but did not make the cut today. Shane's slider usage is down to 10% this year in his career year, and before blowing out, it was 30%. Would this just be because the pitch necessarily doesn't grade out well? I think probably over time, you know, you just kind of have to react to the hitter reaction. I think he probably has. He's bumped up his changeup usage since he added a kick, so that's probably part of it. A little more sinker usage than he used to have, so it all had to come from somewhere. But I am actually surprised about this stat. To be honest, I am a little surprised. Yeah, I appreciate you being here. Sometimes we do look at bad games too to see what's up with somebody. So, welcome for coming though. Appreciate you being here, 100%. Max had some very high praise for Valenzuela behind the dish. The Jays are stacked when it comes to defense. I mean, Valenzuela's been a revelation this year. He was leading the Jays in WAR for quite a while this year as a guy who came up from the minors. So. He's been great. They have an awesome catcher tandem right now. Heineman was the odd man out in that spot. Be curious to see what they do moving forward with two really good options at catcher. Although I'm a big Kirk guy, so I wouldn't get rid of him. All right, ground ball to short. Another really good location down and away on this pitch to Aranda. Saludos desde Venezuela, no doubt. After this, can you show Cameron's home run? Yeah, all right, we can watch Daz Cameron's home run real quick. Jeff Hoffman said that on a podcast, Tropicana was a fair pitch to pitch, and it felt higher. Absolutely, everybody notices this. That pitches on it. It feels higher. There's been a lot of scuttlebutt over this over the years. Hitters being mad, tough place to hit, etc. Does feel higher. I would agree with that. I didn't like pitching there. My favorite place to pitch was Yankee Stadium. With that mound and that visual, but I definitely felt like this mound was high. Yes, whereas like the Cincinnati one is lower, in my opinion. All right, we keep going here. Seventh inning, 1 on, and Mullins here. Have you ever broken down Rhett Lauder or Brandon Pfaadt? Yeah, we've broken down both of them. I haven't watched Rhett recently while he's been pitching better, which we'll probably lock in on him in his next good start. Pfaadt we watched recently. The big thing is just much more changeup usage, both to righties and lefties. Fastballs at the top, changeups down, less reliant on that sweeper, which is what he used to be super reliant on. Changeup's been a great pitch for Pfaadt. The overall arsenal is much better than it has been over his career, and the velo hasn't changed, so the usage was glaring to me. I agree, it's definitely strange, especially he had so much success in his Cy Young year with sliders for chase. Oh, Nathan Lucas. Sorry about that. And that was a massive play. Holy shit. Almost a double play. But this was a massive play because, you know, if this gets down, now the tying run would be on deck with no outs in this inning. First of all, good pitch. Great swing by Mullins. Just an unbelievable play by Lucas. Look at the elevation. Also, though, I will mention, best walls in the league to jump into. Incredible amount of cushion in the trop, which is one advantage Kiermaier had all those years over, say, like a Pilar. Is that, but then again, you can't see shit when the ball's in the air, so really tough. All right, one out there. Next up, Johnny DeLuca. Sinker dotted in. I mean, Bieber's command is his thing. I'd say he's got 70 or 80 grade command for his career, no joke. And then another slider. So 3-pitch punchy of DeLuca. Beautiful chase slider right there. And now his last batter of the game is Richie Palacios. Fastball away. He's made really good pitches in this game. There's also some batted ball luck that they didn't get to go their way, but he's executed really well. Is his stuff hittable? Yeah, sure. But when you execute, you still win, you know? That's how it goes. All right, 2 for 2. I mean, 2-2 count. That ball's hit pretty hard, so if you're looking for some bad luck, there was some bad luck in that inning. Couple hard hit balls that he got away with it, for sure. All right, there was 2 home runs that are really quickly requested in this game. First is Daz Cameron. Let's watch this hole at bat versus Seymour. This ball is absolutely smoked. 4-seam up, swing and miss.
And he's doing it now to different hitters.
Sinker down, overturned to a ball, so 1-1. Sweeper coming here. Is Bieber's performance so far warranting a longer-term contract in the offseason? I wouldn't say that. Would not say that. There's a lot of evaluation that goes on when projecting forward for free agency. I trust Bieber to stay locked in. I trust him to be a good number 3 or number 4, but do I think I would pay him top dollar? No. I'd pay him medium dollar in 3 years and feel good about it. This ball was smashed. Let's go to the second deck. 105.8 at 31. Daz Cameron, son of the great Mike Cameron. And this is just a terrible changeup that Seymour did not mean to throw up and in, and Cameron did not miss it. Holy shnikes. This ball was pumped. Catwalk. Catwalk ball. Ball was crushed. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. That was a bomb. All right, Lucas also a left-on-left home run. We got to give that credit off of Seymour. Bieber and Walker, very close to each other right there. All right, sinker in and changeup. So he's going to get him on a left-on-left changeup here. Oh, wow. Way to ride that out and catch it right on the bottom third of the ball and backspin it to right. Probably only hit this 100, right? Not even. 97.4. But watch the back. Watch how he kind of gets on his front side and gets the hands there. Wow. He was already committed with the lower half and then gets the hands out front and drops the knee. This is very good adjustability. The back knee touching the ground is a signal of a guy who knows how to ride out a ball, especially an off-speed pitch. So great job by Lucas. Takes one away, not a home run, but extra base hit and a huge play, and hits a home run. So that's what I think about that. The Blue Jays have played really good, guys. I mean, really, really good. Really, really good. All right, we need to find the information on Kade Anderson, which I know was posted in the Discord at some point today, I think. Well, there was some stuff on Kade Anderson. Anyway, he's the #1 pitching prospect in baseball at the moment. So I'll just go ahead and show you what his numbers look like, because this is going to be our major league debut on Saturday, on tomorrow, and there will be a video on Kade Anderson's major league debut. You can book it. Use the search button on the Discord. Just type Kade. Okay. Anyway, he's the #1 prospect for the Mariners. Let me just go over reading about him a little bit, because we have to get excited for this guy's tomorrow. 60 fastball, which to me is a little high on the grade for the fastball, but still 60 fastball, 55 curveball, 55 slider, 60 changeup. I absolutely adore this man's slider. I love his off-speed pitches and his control, 60. I'd say it's even higher. Based off of his numbers this year, I mean, how could you not give the command a 70 or better? Here's the numbers from AA Arkansas before getting the call this year. 10-1, 1.06 ERA in 18 games. 93 1/3, only 47 hits, excuse you. 13 walks. What? And 135 punchies. 135 punchies, 13 walks. That's incredible. That's about as good as you could ever do. 0.64 whip. So you're talking about just a ridiculous pitcher. If you want to get a quick little look at Kade Anderson and what it looks like, and then we'll go try to find that data again in the Discord. I see you guys in the chat. Let's just let this ad go by. Thank you, Red Sox Jesus. And after this, we will basically be done. We'll do probables, and then I got to go to Stamford to go get in the studio for Yankees pregame today. All right, here he is, Kade Anderson. I think I give him the very insane Kershaw comp with maybe a worse slider but better changeup, but a similar angle and a similar ability to execute. You're going to notice fastballs at the top, fastballs dotted down and away, perfect changeups down and away, sliders perfect to the back foot, a lot of breaking balls to the plate. It's a pretty crazy thing to say, I know, but I'm that high on his ability to execute, and that's what kind of, gets me excited. All right, scouting and prospects. They said it was in here. Here it is. All right, here's Kade Anderson's numbers off of the Pitch Profiler or from Lance Brzezowski. So shout out to Lance. He's got a great channel, a lot of data. All right, average extension. He's at 6.5. So right around league average extension. Above average amount of ride on the fastball. I would say he's getting awfully close to 20 inches of induced vertical break, although he's got the high release. So, you gotta factor that in. Stuff Plus says it's slightly above average. And in terms of the stuff grades, it really likes his breaking stuff. Doesn't like his changeup, but nobody ever grades out really well. Nobody ever really grades out well on changeup. So it's going to be a fly ball approach a little bit, but you got to be excited. I mean, this is crazy. 40.5% K percentage in AA with a 3.9% walk percentage. He's going to be good. He's going to be good. I do think the fastball might be a little bit more human in the big league level. His fastball VAA, if you see down here, is negative 4.7 degrees. That's not special. It's slightly above average in terms of flatness. So I think he's going to have to execute really well with his fastball. But I think the fact that he's so good at executing his other pitches, he's going to be a really exciting guy to watch. He's not going to beat himself. So we'll see how the league adjusts to him. But I expect him to hit the ground running and be pretty good because this guy commands everything. And, he's been very polished. One of the more polished guys coming out of college. Another LSU guy, a la Skeens and Einstein and some others. But another guy who's so polished that, it's amazing that he was just in college, a little more than a year ago. He was pitching for LSU. It's just a crazy dynamic. So we're excited for Kade, and there will be definitely a video on him tomorrow for your viewing pleasure on his debut, and I'll probably get very excited about it because that's what I tend to do. All right, probables for today, and then we are going to end it. In 1 hour's time, we have one of the matchups of the year taking place. Chris Sale, the old vet dog, future Hall of Famer, versus Jacob Misiorowski, the most exciting pitcher in baseball right now. They're going head-to-head in Milwaukee, so watch out in a day game with the windows coming in. This is going to be nasty. St. Louis and Philly, TBA for the Cardinals, Jesus Luzardo for the Phillies. Jays, Yankees, Mason Fluharty in a bullpen day, probably Spencer Miles, and Cam Schlittler for the Yankees. This is like their fourth or fifth time seeing Cam. Be curious to see how this one goes. Another great matchup today. Logan Webb and Sonny Gray. Sonny Gray trying to tack on another win onto his resume as he's trying to get himself into that Cy Young race. A lot could change in the Cy Young race today. If Schlittler gets bombed on and Sonny shoves, maybe it's a little bit more of a conversation. Plus, there's also Cease, of course, in the mix as well. He'll pitch any day now. I think maybe tomorrow. Nationals, Marlins. As for this question, I think Rafi gets an ovation, but Jane seems to think he's going to get booed. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see. All right, Brad Lord, Ryan Gusto. That's Nats Marlins. Rays Orioles, big series here. Freddie P. We'll continue to monitor him. Does he get his extension further back, all the way back? And Trevor Rogers. Mets, White Sox, the tribal chief, Sean Manaea, has pitched great his last few starts. Looks fully healthy. He's going up against the White Sox and this guy, Sean Burke, who's been their best pitcher over the last several months. That should be a good matchup. Tigers, Royals, great matchup here as well. Two young pitchers. Troy Melton, he's been incredible. Noah Cameron, he's been incredible since he started calling his own pitches, so something's got to give there. A's and Astros, JT Ginn and Hayden Wesneski. Haven't seen Wesneski in a while. Angels, Rangers, two very similar pitchers in my opinion. Reed Detmers and Mackenzie Gore going at it in Globe Life. Detmers has been particularly very good. Guardians, Rockies, Cantillo and Tanner Gordon. Reds, Diamondbacks is Lodolo. Haven't seen him, I feel like, in a bit. And Erod, who's been quietly great. And then you got Twins, Padres, Connor Prelip, and TBA. And our final game of the night, actually, I have two more games of the night. This one's great, though. The young buck, Bubba Chandler, who's been trying to figure it out. And, of course, the god himself, Yoshinobu Yamamoto. And our final game tonight, Cubs, Mariners, Matthew Boyd, Emerson Hancock. This is all just an appetizer to the Kade Anderson debut tomorrow. But that's it, guys. That's it. Great stream. Big thanks to Payton Tolle and the Red Sox for helping arrange that. He was great. I'll get that up I'll get that up pretty quick. We will pump the crap out of this stream so people can watch Payton Tolle talk, and I'll try to get the audio up on the Baseball and Coffee Conversations feed today. So really appreciate you guys. This has been a fantastic day of streaming, and I love you guys. So I will see you on Monday, and be on the lookout for a video tomorrow night. Catch me on Yankees pre and post the next 3 days. Stream coming on Monday. I do have golf, so we might have to move the time. I have a charity event that morning, but we'll figure it out. And I'll give some info both in the Discord and make a post on YouTube as well. So anyway, thanks so much. Have a great day. Appreciate you guys. See you later.